even start with me? I haven't seen you 2 weeks, and you're, oh, where are you?
I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about.
What do we? We have so much to talk about.
I
We
know.
have so much to talk about.
We got to get this on the road.
If I was to do an Owl House tattoo, what I would do is I would either have Hootie coming out of my asshole and like wrapping to my center chest, or I would have like a door up here, right? And it would have like the base of Hootie and it would wrap down into my penis, and then I would tattoo Hootie's face on the tip of my dick. And then I would use my urethra and I'd go, Hootie-oo! And then, because you know how he's always throwing shit up, right? You know, he's like, oh, you got mail? And he's like, oh, that would, every time I come, I would just, it'd be great.
She just follows it down to your penis.
Yep.
You do, hoo-dee-hoo!
Yep.
And then she looks up and just have like bloodshot tears in your eyes. Like, it hurts every time I do it.
His mouth keeps getting wider. I don't know how to stop. I think it's got a mind of its own.
Just every you're like, did you get it?
Did you get the joke? She's like, is this from a children's show? And I was like, kind of. I hate to break it to you here. To answer your question, I'm 18 episodes into Owl House.
Let's go. You're past Grom.
I just did Grom. Okay, so me and Danny, by the way, hello, we're back. Shabbat
Hello.
Shalom. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa.
Merry Kwanzaa?
Neutral Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa?
You don't wish a Kwanzaa on anyone.
What do they say in that backwards ass broken tooth country?
Oh no. Britain?
Yeah, Britain. That's the one. They say Merry. Did they say Happy Christmas there?
They do say Happy Christmas.
Stupid.
Yeah?
But is it? Well, okay. But then the Beatles make the song where they were like, where'd everyone go? They're all dead. No, fucking John Lennon made that song.
What are you talking about?
Merry Christmas. No,
that's Mariah Carey.
No, I know.
They're easily
I know that Mariah
confused.
Carey has a Christmas song. Yeah. The Beatles also have one of them. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. I don't fucking remember the words.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look what you did. Look what you did. Look.
I just do not know what you're talking about. It's the one that's like, wouldn't it be nice if it were Christmas? Then we wouldn't have to wait for gifts.
No, that's not it. That's not it. There's a John Lennon one. I don't remember how to say it. There's people in the chat saying that we also say Merry Christmas. I don't believe you. That's the way you lure me into your country. Yeah, and then boom, I'm in South London, 19 stab wounds.
Nick doesn't believe anyone not from America. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't. It's just, it's a foundational trust. It's in our Constitution. We can't lie.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works.
We won't do it.
We won't. Well, I mean, we will. But, you know, that's just.
But we can't. We will, but we can't.
It's illegal. That's the issue. So we're back. Hi. Hello.
We got too much to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about this week because we are officially right now in between the fall 2020 or winter 2024 season and the fall
Nick,
2020.
we don't have time for you to think.
Fall 2024 season, winter 2025
This is going to be all reviews. We got no time for sidetracking. We have no time for a tangential
People don't like our
spin-offs.
reviews. They don't want reviews.
It's all we have today. Now, I will tell you a quick side story,
I was going to say, tell me about your Christmas.
Well,
what horrific thing happened to you this week? Because every time you go home, you come back and you're like, I watched a man die on the side of the street.
Is that what I said?
You've never had a good trip home.
I had a bad time New Year. Well, I had a great time New Year's.
You called me.
Did I call you?
You called me hammered, and you were like, hello, princess. Hello, princess.
Yes, dude,
and then you're like, don't fucking call me back. You're like, I'm nailing this princess voice. I don't want to talk to you. Bar for bar, what Danny did. Calls me or sends me a fucking voice message. He's like, hello, princess. By the way, if you call me, I won't pick up. But I'm really nailing this princess voice.
Here, this was it. Hold on.
Princess, please answer the phone immediately. This is your daddy calling. This is your daddy calling. No, I don't actually want to call. I just got back from a bar, and I'm sleepy, and I just sent Sarah a voice message telling her good night, and I was like, man, I'm crushing this princess voice. I gotta tell Nick he's gonna get a hoot and holler out of this. But yeah, please don't call me. I'm so tired.
Have you ever been so loved by a person where he's like, I'm thinking of you and my girlfriend, but also don't fucking call me?
Forgot about that. That's so fucked Don't call
Don't
me.
put like, oh, by the way, don't call me. I'm sleepy.
I miss you so much, but lose this number.
It's the last thing you're ever going to hear from me.
It's so funny. No, I did miss you. I was drunk and I was in bed and I was like, man, and I was thinking about the gift I got you, but I don't have it because I came straight from LAX.
Did you not get it? So I'm assuming you had it shipped to your house.
No, I got it before I left to Connecticut.
You're a real son of a bitch.
Why?
You're a real son of a bitch. I hate when people get me Christmas presents.
This is unrelated. This is because I miss you.
I know, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But
So don't get me anything.
I'm gonna get you something.
Don't. Get me a Benny's breakfast burrito.
If you told, I would have got you one. I opened the door.
But next time.
Somebody's knocking at my door. I'm screaming at him to open the door. I was like, Danny, door's fucking open.
Yeah,
and I was like, is this motherfucker deaf? Is he listening to music? I opened my door. I was like, Danny, just a old Mexican dude holding a burrito, and I was like, oh, sorry.
Why don't they just leave that shit at your door?
I don't know, dude.
They never do.
He was hanging out.
Yeah. But yeah, my Christmas was good. I had a New Year's. I accidentally got very, very drunk. I will show you the picture I took.
I didn't drink on New Year's.
You didn't drink on New Year's?
Shout out to Nick. Turning corners. It's because I'm prepping for the Hunter exams and to beat your ass.
Is that why?
No. It's because I accidentally tripped harder than I've ever tripped in my entire life on the 30th. And I was so afterglowed for the next couple of days that I literally didn't have the competency to hold the conversation.
Tripped on what?
I'll tell the story.
All
you do
right.
your story first because mine's more interesting.
I took this in the Uber.
That's adorable. That is adorable. We'll send it to Stank for...
Yeah. But I accidentally, so I like left the house party that Josh was at like 2 a.m. to meet up with some like friends from high school.
Classic.
We were at a diner.
You made a move at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, I made a move at 2 a.m.
Crazy. Dude, if I get to 2 a.m., it's out like a light.
Usually I'm like that, but I was like pretty fucking hammered.
Yeah.
I'm at a different bar at 2 a.m.
The bars were open.
Bars were open. New York City, baby.
Oh, you in New York City.
Yeah, the city of angels.
Okay, if you're in New York, making it past 2 a.m. makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
New York doesn't get fun until like 2:30.
Yeah. New York is pretty fun. It's one of those things where like the second I'm ready to leave, I'm like, this was a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all slanted. It's all piss smelling. But
it's worse in the summer.
Yeah, it's worse in the summer. No season is really that comfortable in New York. It's either too hot or too
winter,
cold.
Ironically, is the best season to be in New York because like, the trash is kind of covered. Cold like stifles piss smell a little bit. In the summer, it's just hot garbage and piss.
Yeah, that's entirely
I love
fair.
that fucking city.
Yeah, but so I went to the second bar, wrapped up there at like 4 a.m. Then I was like, I got to go back to Josh's brother's house, which is where we were staying at. And I like looked at the most recent address Josh sent me. Ubered there. Turns out it was the party I was literally just at.
Nice.
I spent like hundreds of dollars in Ubers in New York.
Not your best play.
Awful. I missed having a car so bad.
You wouldn't have been able to use it on account of you being so drunk you were taking selfies in the back by yourself. But yeah, fair.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, you just been fucking, make a come. Pull through the front of it. My New Year's was interesting.
Yeah.
Last Saturday, I was playing pickleball with a couple of my buddies. And they were like, hey, we're going to Vegas for a couple of days here. You want to come? And I was like, I love Vegas. They're like, we're going to see the Sphere show. There's this house artist. His name's Anima. I'm sure a lot of people of TikTok have seen it. Like the
it
gigantic.
looks crazy.
It was crazy, especially if you're the highest you've been since college.
Yeah.
And so we get there on the 29th. Lennium, one of my favorite EDM artists, is playing the night before at a club in the Resorts World called Zook. We buy a table. And I'm jumping around. I'm doing a little bit of skiing in the club, if you know what I mean. I'm fucking yugging bottles. We're there till 4:30 a.m. I wake up the next day. Day ruined immediately. The second my eyes were open, day ruined. Like I was like, I lay in bed until damn near 6 p.m. And I was like, I need to get some food with me. So like 2-3 p.m. I order Thai food. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna fuck this up. And I do, objectively, fuck it up. But the problem is, now on the West Coast, you have to tell people if you want utensils with your order. So I order curry. I order Penang curry with rice, and some like Thai like sausage thing. And I realized as I opened the bag, there's no utensils in here. There's no utensils in my entire hotel room. I would have to go all the way downstairs, and I am too hungover to get.
You got to chimp it.
Boy, oh boy, did I chimp it. I proceeded to scoop curry out of the container into my mouth, and then with my other hand, I would just grab like a fucking rice ball and shove it in, and I would just... And then I would take a little, because I was just grabbing the tofu and like the veggies out of it, and then I would take a sip of the curry.
Yeah,
it was It's probably the lowest I've ever been in my entire life. 6 p.m. comes around. They're like, hey, we're going to Anima tonight. We're going at like 10. I'm like, I don't like this music. I feel like shit. I gotta find something to like get me there. I gotta be a little fucked up, but I don't want to drink because I have a 9 a.m. flight back. Because my hubris told me when I was booking this flight that I would be able to come back from Vegas on a 9 a.m. flight, land at 10:30, and be like, time to work. Boy, oh boy, did I not. I also brought fucking gym clothes to Vegas because I am Sisyphus, except the rock I'm pushing up the mountain is my own self-will.
Your own expectations.
Yeah, my own expectations to try to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so I'm hanging out with a bunch of these people I've never met before. We're all on the table together like the previous night. And one of them was like, hey man, like you seem tired. Like here, take this. It's called 2CB. It's like a light roll and a light trip. You'll have a lot of fun. It's like
I don't want to take anything. That's like an acronym. That's just a chemical makeup.
They're like, it's a synthetic. It's new. It's super chill. It's going to give you a feeling of euphoria. And I was like, hell yeah, dog. I trust you, stranger. And
this is how people go missing.
Absolutely. 100%. So I was like, take it. We walk on over. We walk on over to the Sphere. I'm feeling fine. First hour we're there. The opener has like this desert background cast over the entire Sphere, and the house lights are on, so it feels like you're in a desert rave in the middle of the day. Coolest thing I've ever seen. And then Anima comes on, and I was like, oh, it's starting to kick in. And like the first hour, for those of you who have done drugs, it was like I was rolling. And I was like, wow, this is fun. But then there was a scene where it was like, we're in a womb and there's a big thing trying to push through the womb. It's like a monster trying to rip us out of the womb like I'm a fucking chimera ant. And the trip started to go a bit sideways on me at that point. So I just started getting real in my head, and I was burping the whole time, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. And so I was just like watching this. And mind you, we're on the floor. We're on the ground floor. So you have to watch the entire show like this. Because all the visuals are above you. Yeah. So my neck fucking hurts, but I don't know because I'm so high I can barely tell. Anyways, long story short, I was like, hey guys, 12:30 rolls around, show ends at 1. Everyone who took a hallucinogen having a bad time. Everyone is in the corner like, fucking, I saw the devil.
Yeah.
So we're at like 12:30 rolls around. I was like, my feet hurt. Meanwhile, I'm just like fucking like, I'm going to lose my shit. So we all walk back to our hotel. It takes like an hour, and I just spend the next like 2 hours in my room talking to Dorothy. And I was like, is that real? And she's like, I can't see it. Okay, cool.
Cool. Love that. What a scary answer.
Yeah.
Is that real? I can't see it. Okay, but like.
But if you could though, would it be real?
You mean like the demon? You can't see that?
So I've retired from hallucinogens.
That's hype to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how you were on this like outrageous, like demonic drug fueled bender. And I like was showing up to a house party with a mason jar of plum wine.
Adorable.
Homemade plum vodka.
Homemade by who?
My sister.
Adorable.
She just has a huge fucking insane moonshine jar.
She's so unemployed.
She's employed. She's a dental assistant.
Okay, once people start brewing, that is fucking unemployment final boss.
It was delicious. It was very good. I'm gonna get the recipe. I think it's just plums and vodka.
Simply no way you make it.
It's plums and vodka.
Okay, you could make that.
It's a lot of plums though, but I was just like fucking booling on plum vodka. I was getting slippy with my Uber driver. It's just me, and I'm in the back.
Like, I don't have no money.
just in the back, and I took a photo, and the flash accidentally went off, and I was like, sorry, dude, I'm just schlumping. Yeah. I'm just schlumping back here.
He's like, are you shooting heroin? What does that mean?
But yeah, I love you. If anyone ever introduces me to a drug, which I've never taken, by the way, I've never taken any drug other than weed.
That's why.
And plum vodka.
I do a lot of drugs.
It's
fun.
You don't do a lot of drugs.
I do a fair amount of drugs.
You used to get so upset when I would jokingly call you an alcoholic, and now you want to go on the internet and say you do a lot of drugs.
I don't do a lot of drugs.
Which is a lie.
I've done a lot of drugs over the course of my life.
You've done a variety of drugs, but you haven't done a high quantity of drugs.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Anyway. I don't really give a shit either way.
Someone comes up to me and is like, yo, this is Neoblitz. You inject it into your eyeball.
Yeah.
Like,
why is that every fucking fantasy drug?
It's always the future
drug. It feels
drug.
like glass into your eyes, and you're like, it was like fucking Dread. They were like, they're doing like the gross ass inhalers, and then there's like the one, I forget which one was drops. There was like one where it's drops.
Penguin.
Is it Penguin? Yeah.
It's always the future is drugs in the eyes.
It's
like
fucking terrifying.
It's closer to the brain.
Drops into my eyes.
Yeah, it's gonna go directly into your tear ducts and then into your brain.
When I would get fucking way too high. When I would get way too high and have to come home.
Now?
Yeah, absolutely. And have to come home. No, this is the best I've felt since I rolled a couple of days ago. But since when I would come home way too high and I'd like, oh, my eyes are too red, I would just be like, like I literally couldn't do eye drops. I was terrified of them.
Gotcha.
That's why I could never do contacts.
Yeah, I could never do contacts.
But before we go any further with that podcast, today I want to talk to you about the sponsor of today's episode, Cook Unity. Cook Unity has played a massive role in both me and Danny's lives. See, as a very proud, very good chef, I like to cut myself up a little dinner every night and make sure I'm making something homemade, delicious, and nutritious. However, I only have time to do that for dinner, and that's my winding down time from a long day of work. When it comes down to it in the middle of the day, I don't have the time, effort, or will to sit down and cook myself the gourmet meal I deserve. But that's where Cook Unity comes into play. See, Cook Unity brings gourmet dining to my door every single week. Chef-crafted artisanal meals that span all different cultures and flavors, all to be eaten and enjoyed right in my kitchen at the height of convenience. See, there's nothing better than being done with my first video of the day and understanding that I have a delicious, gourmet, nutritious meal sitting in my fridge downstairs waiting for me. And I know Danny is the exact same way. Danny's got to put on 30 pounds for our upcoming fight next summer. Do you think he's shopping, prepping, and cooking himself enough food to accomplish that goal? No! And while Danny's not necessarily exploring as many flavors as I am, he's a bit of a picky eater, considering Cook Unity gives you hundreds of dishes to choose from every single week. Even a picky eater like Danny is satisfied with it. See, because I don't have time to be cooking up Japanese curries or birria burritos for lunch. But Cook Unity's got the time, and they make sure that I have the flavor. With individual recipes crafted by individual chefs whose stories and eating instructions are placed on every single meal that gets delivered to your door. But there's a big difference between talking about food and showing food off. So let's head down to the kitchen.
Today we're going to be cooking up birria enchiladas divorcidadas, which, as you can see, is presented to us by Ruben Garcia, the chef. And right there we have all of our nutritional information, the ingredients, and how to heat up the meal, be it the chef's way or the fast way. But since I want to show you just how easy it is to heat up a Cook Unity meal, let's go ahead and do it the fast way.
All you gotta do is slide off that protective layer, peel the corner of the film to vent, throw it in the microwave here for 2 to 3 minutes, which we all know means 2.5 minutes exactly. Peel that film off and we are ready to eat.
Let's give it a try. I'm not exaggerating. I live a mile from a birria truck. That's as good as the stuff I get there.
So what are you guys waiting for? Go to the link in our description to try Cook Unity now and get 50% off chef-made meals delivered directly to your door today with code Otakus50. That's OTAKUS 50. Now, back to the show. So because I was so incredibly brain dead and so tired by the time that New Year's came around, me and my buddy, it was like, we had like 5 people over and we played Jackbox.
Let's go. Jackbox is so fun for like 40 minutes.
Yeah. That's like, you're like, okay, cool. Can we stop doing the improv ones now here? Like,
you're just exhausted.
You're like, why do I have to be funny during this game? I hate the funny, you have to be funny games.
I hate Cards Against Humanity. I hate Cards Against Humanity. I don't like Quiplash.
Yep.
It's too stressful.
That's what we were playing Quiplash.
It's so stressful.
Funny's my day job. Yeah. I'm here to relax.
Yeah, exactly. You know? I want to unwind and just not be funny at all. I got a text after hanging out with my friends from high school in New York from this girl.
I forgot how funny you were.
I got some of that.
Nice.
Which is hype. But I got a text and she was like, hey, feel free to not answer this if this is an invasive question, but do you feel pressure to like always be on when in a group setting? And I was like, could you tell? Could you feel my desperation? Is that why?
Wow.
Yeah, what an
Is that a fucking read?
Yeah, boy, is it.
I think that would send me into a spiral. I'm actually very proud of you for pulling out of that because I would 100% say that applies to both of us.
Yeah.
And whether it's with friends or with like fans and all that we meet in like public spaces, we're like if you meet us, we're not gonna be like, hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, for sure.
Like, we're just so tired. Like, you have to be like, oh my God, I'm so, like, you have to be so fucking top of your energy. And so it's definitely something that I was literally talking about with the people I went to Vegas with because I was like the jester. People kept trying to walk onto our table. I was bouncing them. I was like inviting some people on, giving them shots. Like some people were leaving. I was buying bottles, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love this guy." And then the next day, everyone calls me at like 11. They're like, "Where are you at?" And I was like, "We're charging." Like, you don't understand how much effort this is.
I know. She texted me like after this party, like 4 a.m. and it's like, by the way, do you ever feel the need to put on a performance for people socially? And I was like, hey, what are you, my medication?
Yeah, like fucking, that is not a 4 a.m. Also, you up? Winky face? Like, yo, might psychoanalyze you later. It's like fucking pump the brakes there.
Yeah, I love a you up text followed by like, hey, do you feel like your father had a negative impact on your childhood?
Hey, do you ever feel like the loss of that loved one is the reason that you're up texting me this late at night? And you're like, I don't fucking know.
You up, wink. By the way, do you ever feel enough?
Yeah.
No, but I am hard.
Yeah, I was like, do you want to validate me? What are we doing here?
But yeah, wild New Year's all around.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Should we, in terms of structuring this podcast, I saw like every fucking movie that's come out in the past month.
Do you want to do your Sonic 3? Do you want to do your Sonic 3?
Do you want a Sonic 3? Do you want a Good Girl? Do you want a Nosferatu? Do you want to...
You saw Nosferatu, you son of a bitch.
I saw it on Christmas night.
I want to see that so badly.
It's pretty good. It's ghoulish.
I like ghouls.
Yeah.
I like Robert Eggers.
I saw Mufasa, like the worst movie I've seen in years.
Why would you see that? Why? Did you get your fucking AMC A-list pass back?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah?
Oh, I'm an A-lister, baby.
Oh, and you're just like trying to see every movie the second it comes out?
I was just like, I'm home. It's like, hey, I'm like scheduling appointments with people I went to high school with. And it's like, what do you want to do? Let's see Nosferatu. I also
so you
love
don't have to talk to them. That would,
yeah, exactly.
Well played.
I also love a Christmas movie. It feels bad. It feels like you're not supposed to be there. The employees don't want to be there.
So you go to the movie theaters on Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas night.
Yeah, the employees don't want to be there.
No, they don't want to be there at all.
That's not a business that needs to be open on Christmas.
No,
that is an elective. That's not like a fucking grocery store.
Yeah.
That is an elective business that is opened.
But I go and I buy out every seat to keep that shit open.
Absolutely, baby.
I was also Christmas night. I was real hungry. I did all the Christmas stuff. By the way, Christmas ends after presents. Anytime if I ever text you
presents. Like
early.
Like 11 a.m.
Yeah, 11 a.m. If I ever text you and I'm like, hey, you want to do something Christmas night? And you're like, sorry, can't till like 10 p.m. The fuck are you doing till 10 p.m.? Christmas ends after presents.
Christmas doesn't end after presents. Christmas ends at like 3:30.
Yeah.
So what you do is
after early dinner.
So it's like stockings.
Yeah.
And then it's like presents. And then it's like a breakfast-ish type thing. Yeah. And then it's you go outside, you throw a football around, somebody gets hurt. Somebody gets real fucking. Some uncle tries to run a route.
Someone's like brother-in-law, like
somebody or like a new boyfriend, absolutely lays a truck stick on a fucking kid or something.
Yeah.
Like, a kid gets hurt trying to catch a football.
Yeah.
I only know this. I didn't experience this myself. But I would occasionally go to other people's houses for Christmas because I come from a very broken home. But this Christmas, I was walking my dogs because me and Dorothy were just like sitting around vegetative because she got back on the 24th from China. And I saw the Asian family throwing a football around. And dad bumps back, zings one at a kid. Kid, by the way, this kid said hi to me before. Super nice, cute kid, like 12 years old. I just see him go like this, put his hands out, ball goes straight through him, whoop, straight in the throat. And he's like, and I was just, everyone's like, oh.
Just trying to cough his Adam's apple out. Like,
I'm a girl now. So that's it.
Yeah.
Christmas is presents, it's stockings,
presents.
Christmas, or like breakfast, presents, football time, maybe sledding if there's like snow. Get out, do some like snow sports.
Come on, in this day and age,
I know, right?
Snow on Christmas,
like,
you kidding me?
North Canada, maybe. And then it's like a 3 p.m. dinner, and then you're free.
And then it's Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But I was with my buddy Hayden, and we were so hungry. It was like 6. It was like 5:30. The movie's at like 7:30. We have a lot of time. Yeah. I'm like, let's go find something to eat.
Oh,
and we're driving.
I hate killing time with people, dude. Listen.
I'm catching up with this person.
That probably speaks to who I am as a friend. But if we don't have a direction for our hangout, like if we're at my house, that's fine. Yeah. But if we're just like, what do we do? I'm just like, you know what? We're not seeing the movie. I'm trying to buy us a sooner ticket. I can't kill time with people.
Oh, I love a dinner hang. I'm inviting people to dinner all the time.
Hang,
yeah.
But it's not 2 hours.
Well, I was looking for a dinner.
Gotcha.
So we're looking for dinner. Nothing's open. We go to Chinese restaurants. They're all packed to the gills. A lot of other people don't want
single people.
Yeah, it's all the single people. It's all the ghouls waiting to see Nosferatu.
Absolutely.
So then we go to a gas station, like a 7-Eleven.
Nice.
And this dude.
That's a place you can kill 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, apparently this dude, he's like a 30-year-old like Indian guy with like a thick accent, which like.
Do it.
I won't.
What's it sound like though?
I'm just painting a picture.
Okay,
it just made what he is about to say funnier.
I'm just struggling to remember. Is it like British? Is that what he sounded like?
It's not like that.
He
though.
didn't sound like that. No.
It's like it's a bit like Scottish but more Indian.
Okay, gotcha. Of course, good.
Yeah, it's like your famous Jamaican accent.
Oh,
but
mine.
with like a little pitch.
I learned from the best.
Yeah.
Which
Well.
is you.
So anyway.
You haven't worked in 2 weeks. You forgot.
Yeah.
It's an uphill struggle.
But so I'm at 7-Eleven and we're like, they have no hot food. Usually 7-Elevens do have like chicken fingers or something. They have nothing.
Christ.
But they have all frozen food and there's like a beat to hell fucking microwave. Like it just got out of filming Real Steel too.
Yeah.
And so
second Real Steel.
no, but the microwave would star.
The way I would have watched it immediately. The best news I've gotten this year, Den of Thieves 2 is coming out in like 3 days.
Den of Thieves. I don't even know it. It just cancels the recording.
You haven't seen The Den of Thieves?
No, I saw Carry On though. That was another one I
Carry
saw.
On fucking slaps.
Carry On's
getting so
sick.
much hate. Carry On's a fucking great movie.
Carry On is sick. It is TSA propaganda though.
Who gives a shit?
I give a shit. They're so mean.
Fucking Depart is it's propaganda. Who
Well,
cares?
that's fair. Boy. So we're at 7-Eleven and we're talking to this guy and I'm like, hey, can we use this microwave? And he comes in, he's got his own like dinner, comes scrambling in and throws his plate in, like heats his thing up.
And he's like 35 minutes. He's like, it's not a good microwave.
Puts it in. Yeah, it is like 3 or 4 minutes. Like, and it's on a paper plate, like too high.
I don't think I've ever microwaved something for 4 minutes.
No, it's dangerous. He throws it in, and we're like, "Can we use that after you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm drunk as hell." And I'm like, "Okay." And then he like grabs it from me. He takes I have Hot Pockets. Takes a box of Hot Pockets. He rips it open, takes it out, rips that open, and he's like, "You're not paying for this." And I'm like, I can. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm high as hell. I'm like, all right, dude.
This is the raddest dude alive.
Yeah, he was sick. And then we're like waiting for his thing. He's like behind the counter. And he's like, we're like, yeah. So like, how long have you been working? And he's like, dude, like I just finished like a whole like one of the big glasses of whiskey. And Hayden was like, really? Can I get some? He's like, no, like the bottle, the bottle of whiskey. I was like,
So did you drive here? Did you?
Like, how'd you get it?
Yeah.
And then, but the best part,
He's like, I don't even work here.
yeah,
I killed that guy.
I'm drunk as hell.
Yeah.
Like, but the best part is we're waiting for our thing. This woman comes in, she buys something, and then she's like, all right, thank you, Merry Christmas. And then he goes, yeah, I know. And then he turns and looks at me, and then he mouths the word, bitch. Like, looks me dead in the eye.
We gotta have this guy in the pod.
Yeah, it was, like,
Oh my god,
crazy.
this is my hero.
He like came like
He's like way too loud. He's like, what a fucking cunt.
what a bitch.
She's like, I haven't even picked up all my quarters yet.
Just really intensely just goes,
That's fucking the
Yeah.
way you guys bonded over over stolen frozen food.
It's awesome.
It's like these are my best fucking friends.
It was so funny. Dude, yeah, so next Christmas, go to a 7-Eleven. They want the company.
They absolutely yeah. Next Christmas, yeah, the loneliest dude
Yeah.
looking for like time and a half on Christmas.
Yeah.
Absolutely wants some company.
Drunk as hell.
He knew he had to Uber to work that day. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm stealing whiskey off the
I
shelf.
should have been like, can I like have all the money in the register? Like,
he's like, yeah, yeah. He's just
Yeah.
wheeled the molten hot
Yeah.
like center of a hot pocket at him. Like, I'll
Yeah.
squirt it.
it's like a 60% chance he gives it to me and 40% chance he kills me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's better odds
Yeah.
than Vegas.
yeah, that's true.
A couple $100, and then you can go pay for a real dinner.
Yeah. But so we saw Carry On. You want to hear about Sonic though?
I want to hear about Sonic. I think our audience doesn't really give a shit about Carry On
Or
Nosferatu.
BabyGirl.
Well, I don't even know what BabyGirl is. Oh, is BabyGirl the one where it's like Nicole Kidman? And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna fuck this young guy.
She's just getting domed by her intern the whole movie.
Yeah,
The soundtrack's awesome.
I can imagine.
I'll play it. The soundtrack's so funny because it'll just be like, it's like a Euphoria kind of vibe. But it's like remixed moans.
Okay.
Mostly. And so there'll just be scenes where she like, at one point he orders her a glass of milk at the bar. It's like across a bar. She's at a business meeting. Some milk comes to her. And they're all like, what the hell is that? Who ordered that? He's like eyeing her. And then she like picks it up and she like drinks it all in one go. And she like, licks her lip. And then it cuts. She's like paying her tab at the bar. And he crosses over and he goes, good girl. And the soundtrack kicks in. It's like,
Who'd you watch this with?
like 7 people, and we all held hands.
I was gonna say
It was hot.
We brought a couple of blankies and we sat in the back row.
Yeah. But anyway, Sonic 3.
You ever had your pants off in a movie theater?
I had my pants off on a beach in a drive-in movie.
Okay.
Like where you bring your blanket out and you sit on the beach and there's the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just up in your girlfriend's
You're just
like
fucking
situation.
reaching up and around, dog. Absolutely.
Yeah, high school's a wild time.
High school was a wild time, dude. I had the biggest fantasy of fucking in a movie theater for the longest time, and then I went to a porn movie theater with a girl in Montreal, and she got one of her nipple piercings infected. That's how dirty the place was.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like there was
I bet.
There was like a watching area where like, you would sit and you would like pretend not to jerk off, you jerk off. But we got a suite. And there was tarps everywhere.
This is a crazy.
It was a great time.
It
wasn't a great time. It was terrifying.
I also had the fantasy of like fucking in a movie theater, but me and my girlfriend at the time were like too nervous and like weird about it.
Yeah.
And then we get out of the movie and we're like exiting, there's like a hallway kind of usually. We like go and we're the last people out and I just like toss her against the wall.
Nice.
And we're just like going at it.
Hell yeah, dog.
Publicly indecent.
Dude, me and Dorothy recently went to go see the Spy Family movie. And we were the only people in the theater, and I was like, we could fuck here. And then I was like, I remember seeing on TikTok, people were like, oh, there's a camera that points at the seats. And I was like, really? And I don't think that's true. That seems illegal.
Maybe it's for reactions.
But like, maybe, right?
So when you're watching a Paranormal Activity, it's like, ah!
So if I'm just busting Dorothy's shit down, like, I record that on
That's
my
like
own
in
phone.
the Paranormal Activity trailer. It's like, oh, like popcorn throw, and then just like you plowing Dorothy.
Fucking only jump scare is fucking me in the back row staring the guy 3 rows down dead in the eyes when he turns around.
So anyway, I saw Sonic 3.
Saw Sonic 3.
We're both not fans of Sonic 1 and 2.
Hey, they're so objective. They're fine. It's just it's the Mario movie.
I think they're worse than fine.
I think they're fine.
They're flossing too much. The humor is just, they're some of the unfunniest movies I've seen.
Yes.
It's very much like grown-ass adult writing. It feels like a movie written by babies for babies, and I know that is an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I know I'm coming in hot. People love these movies.
Here's my thing. I hate the main character. I hate
Sonic?
No, not Sonic. I hate the
Tim?
human. Yeah, I hate the Tim.
Tim is not the main character of Sonic.
I don't know, but he's like the vehicle.
That's like me being like, I hate the main character of Naruto, Sasuke.
Is he not the person who moves the plot forward?
It's Naruto. His name is Naruto.
I know, but Naruto's only doing shit because he's chasing after Sasuke.
I guess.
And Tim's the dude who's... I hate that he calls Sonic his son, too. That's always odd.
Yeah,
Right
I hate Sonic being this weird, like, 8-year-old to, like, 10-year-old, like, where he's like, I never had a dad that wasn't an owl. I hate that he's Ben whatever his name is, Ben Schwartz.
Yeah.
I love Ben Schwartz. I don't like him as Sonic.
Yeah.
He's not cool sounding. Sonic's supposed to sound cool.
Yeah. So what'd you hate about 3 specifically?
It's not funny again.
Okay.
It's like it's like the Minions. Here's what I don't get about Sonic. I'd be fine with it being the quality that it is, but it's like genuinely on par, if not worse, than like the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, the Transformers movies.
So all
the
Michael Bay.
Minions.
You're just saying, okay,
well,
not
now
Michael
moving
Bay.
on.
Yeah.
Like the Minions, like all of these other movies that people like scoff at and laugh at because they're like bad adaptations or the Minions. This is on par with that. And I hear so many people being like, no, like they understand the fandom. It's like by passionate people for passionate people. But it's like the same passionless corporate bullshit as the Michael Bay movies, where it's like he's
just cashing in on an IP, you feel?
It's just like get Knuckles to call Tails a Pikachu, and that's the whole joke.
Gotcha.
Or like
It's fan service.
it's like, but no, it isn't. That's what I'm saying. It's not fan service. It's not them like doing callbacks to Sonic games. They do that once when he jumps out of a helicopter.
But don't they also play the Sonic song from the snowboarding one? Not the snowboarding one. It's like they played
Sing it.
They played one of like the famous, I don't know,
but they didn't play any of the Shadow the Hedgehog songs, which I was pissed about.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like it's not fan service, it's them being like Jim Carrey will say like a movie that came out in the past 5 years.
Gotcha.
And that's the whole joke.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he like just is bussing it down in like a laser room. And I'm like, what are you doing?
It's kind of, I mean, it's BuzzFeedian almost. It's like, you can feel as though it's like written by millennials kind of thing. Like the joke is that like, I remember like one of the jokes from the first one being like, Dr. Eggman is very specific about his coffee order. He was like, oh, I want like a iced mocha frappa latte, whatever the fuck. And I was like, okay, this is weird. But to me, I feel like Sonic exists as, if you're a fan of it, you enjoy it. And if you're a child, you enjoy it. Like Minions.
The babies didn't like it enough. There wasn't enough laughing in my theater full of babies. I was probably the only non-baby in the theater.
That's crazy.
Surrounded by babies.
Yeah, I mean, it's kids' movie. It's kids'
They
movie,
weren't laughing
but you're
enough.
not a hyper Sonic fan.
I like Sonic. People don't think I like Sonic.
Okay.
I like Sonic enough. I like the Sonic Boom shows. Are really genuinely funny.
Sonic Boom is very funny.
Fucking, there's a couple of like funny jokes in this movie. But like, even in terms of the fights and stuff, I was sitting next to a guy, not a baby, like grown man. And like, he was doing like YouTube reactions to the movie, not recording.
Okay.
But he was like someone that happened. He's like, yo, like he's freaking out, and good for that guy.
Okay.
It's not even that I don't like it.
Did you see the Akira bike slide?
The Akira bike slide's cool. He does it vertically.
He does it vertically.
He does it up a building.
And he does a Sasuke. He does a Sasuke ceiling stand. He does it up a building, and then he stands upside down on the bike, which is a reference to Sasuke in the 5 Kage Summit.
Well,
it's aura farming.
That's very high.
It was aura farming. He was doubling down.
But it's just like Shadow's really not in it enough. I think it's too much Robotnik because they love Jim Carrey and people love him, and he's in it twice now as like his grandfather and himself. And I wanted like more Shadow. And the fights.
People are saying they loved Jim Carrey in that movie, though. They're like, if this motherfucker wants to do 7 more movies, sign him up.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't get it.
Okay.
It's not even that I hate the movies. I just don't get it when you put it next to these other movies people unanimously hate.
So you're comparing it to like Michael Bay's Transformers.
Yeah.
Movies that, mind you, I fucking love.
You love them.
I love the Transformers movies. I love some of them.
Yeah.
I love most of them.
Yeah.
The Mark Wahlberg ones aren't great.
They're not good. 2's not great.
No,
Three's
that's still Shia LaBeouf. How dare you?
Well, 3's pretty sick. When the worms are eating the skyscraper.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
But then you get into like Mark Wahlberg holding like a fucking sword gun. I don't. You just lost the plot completely.
It's all bad.
But then we get back to like when it was like what is it? Fucking Optimus Primus. Great.
Oh, Optimus Primate?
Yeah, when we get to Transformer, like War of the Beasts, great movie.
I haven't seen it.
Bumblebee, great movie. Transformers 1, great movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. It was like, even the fights, there wasn't anything as good as Sonic versus Knuckles in the second one. Love Shadow, though, like just as a concept.
Everyone loves Shadow.
He has a little pistol, but it's like a sci-fi pistol. It's not like a Glock.
I mean, like he was like running around with like straight up Uzis back in the day. It was like actually he was like, here, we got this from Israel.
Yeah.
Like it was like you knew the fucking serial number on that thing.
Yeah, I want to see him like being an arms dealer. There's like a montage where he's like just crushing on this like human woman, and it's real fun. It's hilarious.
I like that a lot.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I won't get too much more into it because you haven't seen it, so it's just me yapping.
I'm not gonna see it.
You should see it.
I haven't seen
for content.
I've seen 2 halfway on a movie on a flight with you.
There's less humans in this. They don't do like anything.
Here's my thing: the way that you don't get it, I don't care. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my thing. I'd rather watch Nosferatu like this weekend. I'd rather watch fucking Gladiator 2. I just like Sonic
see BabyGirl.
It's the one
It's hot.
I have been doing a thing recently. Growing up in college, and in college, everyone was like, I want to bang a MILF. And I, for the life of me, couldn't understand it. Because I was like, hey, you got your whole life to fuck older women. Like, if you get with a woman, that's going to be an older woman one day. And then you're banging a MILF then. But now, I love Dorothy. But I've been looking around, and I was at the airport the other day, and I saw an attractive older lady, and I was like, that's a MILF. Yeah. You know, I think with age, I've started to appreciate older women.
I see.
So BabyGirl.
You might like it. It's not even hot in that regard. I didn't have any like MILF fantasies fulfilled. It's just like it's just all about like Dom shit. And I was like, there was some stuff where I was like, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. You're gonna order Sarah fucking milk at the next bar you go to.
There's like some tips. I was like, interesting. It's funny because I went with like 7 people. All the guys really into it. All the women said it was lame. And I will say, it's like a fully clothed sex movie.
It kind of feels like the male fantasy, doesn't it? It's like, oh, look at this powerful woman that you get to dominate as a lesser man.
But it's weird because it's like written and directed by like a woman, and like
women can't have fantasies about being dominated.
Well, I know, but I was like, oh man, like I feel like I was really into it. And I was like, I feel like all these girls are gonna love it. And they were like, this was some tame ass, lame ass shit. And I was like, all right, damn,
they
ladies.
See the base of the PP, man.
I guess they do.
Women want to see that fucking V section.
It's just like foreplay the movie. The sex isn't really the point. It's more like the lifestyle and the intensity.
Women would be into that.
I don't know.
It's fucking right up their alley, dog.
It was intense.
It's me.
And I know women.
And I have a very a grasp of them at least when I get a hold of them, you know? All right,
when you catch up.
I catch up. So we have a lot to talk about this week. Like we said, we are, Jesus fucking Christ, I just scrolled through my notes.
We have too much, so let's get it moving.
I think we just got to do them quickly, right?
Okay.
So we're...
Dragon Ball?
In the upcoming season, let's establish what we're going to be watching. Soul Leveling.
Yeah. You're going to watch Apothecary.
I'm going to watch Apothecary. We're going to watch, Sakamoto Days.
Yeah.
And
we'll continue Beastars.
We will continue Beastars in the upcoming season. There is also, and I want to show you this, because I think it's going to be very good, and I would like for us to watch like the first episode or two. It's probably going to bore you because there's no fighting. You're not caught up with Dr. Stone. Nope.
I like Orb.
You like...
I don't need fighting.
There was fighting in Orb.
Eventually. I liked it before that.
There was fighting in 2 episodes into Orb.
No, like 4 episodes.
They were cutting down heretics left, right, and center.
Wow.
The fucking third cast of main characters were dudes who got hired to kill other people.
What are you trying to pitch me? That has no fighting.
There's a new season of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
I literally just asked you a question and you literally just ignored me.
There is this show. Mappa is only releasing 1 anime this season. Can you guess what it is?
Do I know it?
No.
Then how can I guess, Nick?
Well, that's because it is the anime original TV show called Zenshu.
How the fuck was I supposed to guess that?
I don't know, dog. Maybe you're tapped in. Maybe you watched my video explaining the things you need to watch for or wait for in winter 2025.
Before I forget, have you heard of the new anime coming out, I think by the creator of Beastars, about Santa Claus?
No.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Keep going.
Is he a bear?
It's like pretty intense looking. Okay. No, he's like a human. I get what you mean.
That's wild. The Beastars creator making anything that's not slightly furry adjacent is crazy to me. So this is a anime that's coming out. It's called Zenshu. And it's about, I'll read you the synopsis here. I think it's going to be very interesting, but only because it reminds me of Oshinoko, which you, very historically, despise.
I don't despise it. I got bored.
Okay. Which means
I'm
you despise
neutral.
it.
That's not what that means.
You hate it. It means you hate it and everybody who watches it.
Yeah, this is the internet. So by the way, the Santa thing is from Don Studio. The people who made Don are going to make the Santa Claus mystery series.
Is that going to be this season?
Waiting. Go on.
I feel like if it doesn't come out this season, what are you doing? Like if it's, you're going to release that in the summer, the Santa Claus, the anime? All right, the synopsis here. After graduating from high school, Natsuko Hirose starts her career as an animator. Her talent quickly flourishes, and she makes her debut as a director in no time. Her first anime becomes a massive hit, sparking a social phenomenon and earning her recognition as an up-and-coming genius director. Her next project is set to be a romantic comedy movie themed around first love. However, having never been in love herself, Natsuko struggles to understand the concept of first love, and as a result, she's unable to create the storyboard, causing the movie production to come to a standstill. This is the only anime Mappa is working on this whole season. I think it's going to be sick.
People have been talking about this for a while, and the irony of Mappa making an anime
about being gridlocked as a creator. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And one of my favorite things about Oshinoko is the adaptive, Jesus Christ.
That's Santa.
He looks like the main character from Undead Unluck, main character from Undead Unluck.
He looks like Panda from, these are like the manga volumes. Mm-hmm. At least half of them still look like animals.
Yeah. Oh.
What an art style. What a unique art style, right?
I kind of hate it.
It's the Beastars manga.
It's just kind of like low res. I mean, I like the idea. I like the idea of a manga. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like Tim Burton.
Yeah. Everyone, all the skinny people are spindly.
Yeah.
And all the big dudes are big. But it's called Sanda, and it's about Santa Claus.
That
it's a mystery.
Is crazy. When does it come out?
There's just a release window of this year.
Gotcha.
So
anyways, Zenshu, yes, is the only anime that Mappa's going to be working on this season, and it's about. I just love getting little looks into the behind the scenes of the manga and anime world.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of my favorite things about Oshinoko is that Oshinoko is hey, here's what being an idol feels like. Here's what being a child star feels like. Here's what's working in a theater feels like. It's such good perspective into the creative process in a different part of the world, and I really love that. And I think that's kind of gonna be what this is. And yes, is it ironic that Mappa is writing a story about fucking workers being overworked? Absolutely. But at the same time, if anybody's gonna be able to tell that story, it's fucking Mappa, right? That is the group of people to tell that story.
I love the idea of Mappa being man, this JJK was forced and rushed story is really picking up steam. Maybe we can make some money off of that.
Yeah, it's literally exact. Oh my God, I didn't even realize.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
It's
That's what it is.
evil that they're making this. They're man, maybe we could capitalize on all this buzz.
I didn't even consider the fact that JJK's ending was horrendously rushed because the mangaka got bullied into finishing it and also bullied into changing.
Oh, I meant season 2 of the anime.
Season 2 of the anime looks fucking fantastic.
It looked great, but it was rushed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Hey, you want to know where I'm getting that info from? The fucking tweets of the people who made it.
The tweets of the animators who were this is
objectively rushed. You're turning into one of those people now who are at our throats being actually, it's not rushed. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's hey, people are literally tweeting saying it's
tweets.
Not fucking finished.
People were I was hey, we that's 70%, that's 70% of what we wanted to give you. And it was my God, I can only imagine what 100% would look like. You added fucking 3 minutes of fight animation into there. So yeah, it's gonna be wild to watch. But our big things from the season are gonna be Soul Leveling and Sakamoto Days, which isn't a lot. I'm gonna keep.
Thank God.
I'm gonna do weekly updates on Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Yeah.
I should have done that with Bleach this season.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Nick Corner because Nick watches things and Nick has a little light, a little smile in his heart that Danny lost years ago. You know how the Grinch, his heart got 3 times bigger? When you started on YouTube, your heart got 3 times smaller and you're I hate everything.
Where did this come from?
Listen,
you're the one who came up with the monthly, anime is bad again.
Anime it was last season, it wasn't great. If we're being real, it wasn't great.
I'm just saying, you're the heartless one.
I am objective. I listen, but you want me to sit here and be Daima and Blue Lock. What fun, what a fucking spectacle watching experience last season was. You want me to be
last season was Dandadan.
Yeah, there was Dandadan.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying Diamond and Blue Lock were last season.
What outside of Dandadan, what was good last season?
I don't even outside of Dandadan. Yeah. Nothing. Truly nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything else was a legitimate TYBW, Bleach, you weren't watching it. That was honestly better to me than Dandadan. The core 3 of TYBW was a fucking masterpiece. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the season. We have a couple of big things to watch here. I have 4 anime that I'm excited for. Soul Leveling, Apothecary Diaries, Sakamoto Days, and Dr. Stone. People are not excited about the prospects of Sakamoto Days, though.
Why?
Because the trailers don't look good. And also,
I'll advise people, anime trailers never look good. Almost never.
That's fair. I mean, it's a fair point.
It's usually no information. You remember the Crow trailer for Infinity Castle?
That was
the Crow
which
reveal.
Was just like the last minute of the last episode, and then a crow flying into the Infinity Castle. That was the stupidest thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, it's usually not enough info, or even the Dandadan trailer. I remember when we saw it, I was like, this looks fine.
They showed the Turbo Granny. They showed a little bit of episode 1. Yeah. They showed the Serpians. There wasn't that much going on.
But it looked fine. I was like, the animation style is not anything crazy. And then it turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous anime.
That's true. They really didn't showcase how good the animation was in the trailers. But there is kind of a somewhat valid concern to be worried about how good Sakamoto Days is going to be, because the people who are animating Sakamoto Days is a company called TSM Entertainment. And guess who also does Dr. Stone, which is coming out in the same season? TSM Entertainment. So they're dropping 2 very big projects simultaneously, so people are afraid that they're splitting their efforts into these 2 projects.
And Dr. Stone's not anything great looking,
Dr. Stone is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Dr. Stone to me is one of the most perplexing anime in existence.
Why?
Because find me somebody who's I'm the A1 Dr. Stone.
Yeah, true.
Dr. Stone to me is kind of Dr. Stone to me is like a cheeseburger with nothing on top, which is actually how you like cheeseburgers, because you're fucking insane. But Dr. Stone is it's like a warm blanket that's not quite long enough. You know, you're this is your toes are sticking out, but the rest of you is warm, and you're oh, this is cool. I'm fine with this, but it could be better.
Yeah.
And that's how everyone feels about Dr. Stone.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've seen like clips and it looks like an anime from like a 4Kids anime from 2010, 2012.
It's fun. Like, it's just objectively fun.
I've never seen like a sick ass edit from Dr. Stone.
There's not really anything you would edit. Like, there's like some cool fights, but like at the end of the day, it's just a fun story. Like, it is just like, it's like a comfort story because you're never going to be blown away by it, but you're also never going to be disappointed by it.
Yeah.
That's what's so interesting. But anyways, we have a lot to catch up on here. Did you watch Secret Level?
No, not yet.
You didn't watch Secret Level.
We have too much to talk about.
I watched Secret Level. I'm going to quickly go through it.
Okay.
I need fucking 17 episodes of the Warhammer universe animated.
I heard that's the best one.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Oh, so good. Oh my god.
Warhammer's popping off right now, and I'm hyped about it.
It's so cool.
So I just bought an army, as you know.
Yeah, a used army. You got
the painted one. Mm-hmm. Anyway, go on.
And so it's just like, it's Titus and like the dude who raised Titus on this mission. And they're like, they have to like cut down this like primordial god thing, and they bring this tech mechanist like in this giant casket.
Yeah, Warhammer shit.
And it's just so fucking gorgeously animated and choreographed, and they're just fucking mincing people, dog. Oh, it was so dope. I was screaming to the Emperor the entire time. And so everyone who's watching that like episode of Secret Level, they're like, don't give me a live action movie, give me 17 episodes of this, because the live action will never be able to like truly encapsulate just how fast an ultramarine is moving, right?
Yeah, they're like proportionally ridiculous, but also need to be moving like superhumanly fast.
They're like moving.
It'll
like
look ridiculous.
It's like Armored Core.
Yeah,
like Armored Core, those cores are flying around at the sound of speed, like the sound of speed, but you don't know that because they have to slow it down for you in the game so you can like see what the fuck is going on. The King of Rules one was fine. There was a Concord one.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah.
I was like, this show lasted longer than the game.
Yeah, this dead game. I hear the Warhammer one's like legitimately the only one worth watching.
No, there's an Armor Core one, which has Keanu Reeves in it, which is really cool.
Oh, sick.
It's like CGI Keanu Reeves, and it's not as good as the Warhammer one, but it's like Armor Core. So it's like a bunch of mechs just like piecing each other. And it has, can I spoil it for you? One of the best kills I've ever seen in my entire life. There's like, it's like at the end of the episode, it's like revealed that like Keanu Reeves is this augmented dude who's got like an AI chip implanted in his brain, right? And it's like revealed that there's like a couple like other people like him have been made, and so like he beats them all into combat, like they're all trying to kill him, and the front of the armor core gets like busted open, and you can see the person, and he's like, brother, and like the AI in his brain is being like, they're like you, and you can see Keanu Reeves reaching his mech, like his hand out to him. And then he just like, you see the guy's hand start getting pushed. And then it just like, you just see slowly but surely Keanu Reeves pops the dude's fucking skull with the index finger of his mech. It was one of my favorite kills of the year. It was sick as hell.
That is sick.
But yeah, there was fine ones.
How's the Pac-Man one?
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like actually.
I heard it's weird as hell.
One of my favorite ones was the Pac-Man one. And then there was the Zan one.
I don't know
like
what
Zan
is.
Advanced Combat or something. It's like some arena shooter or something where you're a robot versus humans, something like that, which was also really good. But yeah, like out of all of them, like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Like it was like
that's how it goes with these things.
The Sifu one was so fine. The first one, the Dungeons and Dragons one, fine. The Conquered one, fine. None of them were outright bad. I think actually no, I might have skipped one. The last one had Kevin Hart and his daughter in it. It's like an amalgamation of all. And the second I see Kevin Hart nowadays, I just turn it off.
Yeah.
I literally
just sick of him.
If I see Kevin Hart or The Rock, I skip it.
Yeah. You'd hate the movie they're in together.
Which fucking Central Intelligence?
Yeah, right?
The 19 movies they're in together. Yeah. I did watch Red 1 over the fucking holidays. It was
nice.
Horrifically bad.
Yeah.
So yes, I watched Secret Level. Can I talk to you quickly about Owl House?
Sure, of course.
I've seen from, I think I left off at episode like 10 or something. I'm now on episode 18.
Yep.
And what I want to talk to you about is I want to talk about Grom.
Yep.
I want to talk about Amity.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the fact that Amity's kind of a bad person. I get that you might be your favorite character. Okay, here's my thing. So there's the episode where they're doing the memory editing.
Yeah,
right?
where they're just lobotomizing Willow.
Where they're just lobotomizing Willow, and they're like, "Hey, Amity." So it gets revealed that like Amity stopped hanging out with Willow because her parents were like, you can't hang out with that slovenly trash, right? And so Amity just starts like stops hanging out with Willow. It's like, we can't hang out anymore. And it's like, she's like, Willow's like, oh, because I can't use magic. And she's like, yeah, I guess that works. I said, hey,
tell her the truth.
Tell her the fucking, it's so easy to tell the truth, Amity. And then she just lets her friends bully Willow for years.
That's true.
What?
That's true.
I'm sorry that your parents put you in this fucking disadvantageous situation and you stopped being friends with Willow because they said they would get her expelled from Hexside.
Yeah.
Tell her the truth and then also defend her. Just don't bring her over anymore.
Yeah.
You can hang out with her at school. Who cares? Just don't bring her over to the house.
Yeah, that's fair. You're making a lot of really good points I didn't consider.
Right?
If I were to counter, it would be that I guess maybe after that interaction with her parents, where her parents are like, yeah, like, we don't associate with the help. And if you do, then you're going to get her and yourself kicked out of Hexside or whatever. Maybe then Amity starts just like, anytime she sees Willow, it like reminds her that her parents like don't really approve of like her own choices and stuff.
Yeah.
So then it's like Willow just becomes this lightning rod of like Amity's disdain. I do agree. Just be like, my parents told me not to hang out with you.
Yeah. I've told people that before.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
Parents are real.
Yeah, I mean, I invited a kid over. He kept stealing shit from my house. And
That'll do it.
He was like, let's hang out. And I was like, fucking, we simply can't.
Yeah, you can't be stealing
stole our
things.
camera.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, that's an interesting point, though. Yeah. How'd you feel about Grom? That's like the first big episode of the Outhouse.
That was awesome. I thought it was kind of, obviously, I predicted the second that Amity and Lou started talking to each other, I was like, oh, we're doing enemies to lovers here. And that's exactly what we're doing. Enemies to lovers. And Grom is kind of the kickoff point for that, but Luz is like very unaware that Amity is like head over heels in love with her, right? Fun episode. I think it kind of like it shirked a lot of the conversation points I would have like. I like it's cool to me that like Luz is addressing the fear of like talking to her mother, and she's like telling her mom. Like I really liked the part where like she like texts her mom and she's like, actually today was really difficult. I thought that was really cool. And it's like a really good lesson about like not avoiding your problems and like allowing your parents to be into your life. I like that there's a little like who's writing letters to her mom. Like that was kind of cool. I liked that. It was fun. It was probably my favorite episode thus far, I'd say. Like cool combat. The Grom is a cool monster.
Yeah.
I don't love, like I told you when we talked about this like last episode where I was like, oh, I didn't want this to become another magical school show. Because I was afraid once like Luz went to Hexside, we were going to lose King and Ida. Yeah. And we have a little bit, but I do appreciate that this show, kind of like Squid Game Season 2, is giving us both the things that like the audience wants. Like people want magic school, but people also love like the home life of Luz and her interactions with Ida and King. And kind of like how Squid Games is giving us the world building while also giving us the games again. I think that has been a really good way to like branch her into Hexside. Yeah. So Grom was, why? Why do you ask?
Because it's the best episode you've watched so far.
Yeah.
Like just objectively. It also like the animation just like kicks into gear like out of nowhere during the like dance fight, which is very cool.
The dance, I forgot about the dance fight.
Yeah.
I literally wrote it. I said, big fan of the Grom dance battle. That was awesome. I also wrote that Hootie deserves Gus's interview.
Yeah.
When Gus came over and he was like, do I interview King or Ida? And he was like, I'm going to fucking interview the owl.
Yeah.
He had the sentient owl. 100%.
He's earned it. Hootie's the best character still.
Hootie is the best. Every time he throws something up, I kick my feet and I chuckle. Like, it gets me every time.
Yeah. He's really funny. The season finale is like a two-parter, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's 19 and 20. And that's like way better than Grom. Like from this point on, the Owl House is now an actually great show. And
I've enjoyed everything up to this.
No. It gets better and better. You like genuinely, legitimately do not understand what you're in for. It's like when people talk about One Piece.
Well, I've enjoyed.
No.
I'm telling you, I've enjoyed.
No, you haven't.
Like I've been watching it of my own volition.
No,
okay,
no,
you're right.
no.
I'm wrong.
You don't know. You just don't know. It's like when you are telling someone to get into One Piece, and they're like, I don't know, the art style is bad, and like it's so long, and I don't care about pirates. And then you get into it, and you like don't even realize it's happening. But by the time you get to Alabasta, you're like, this is like the best thing I've ever read. Owl House is like that. When you get to season 2, you're gonna become me. And when people are like, yeah, it's a good show, I'm on like episode 7. You're like, no, it's a fucking terrible show until blank.
That's why I don't know. I feel like I'm enjoying it, and I'll just continue to enjoy it most likely.
Not as much as you will.
You're also the person with like the polarizing views, like, oh, they rushed it. I can't believe they canceled it. Season 3's a travesty.
That's not polarizing. Season 3's the best media ever. It just got canceled. They wanted 5 seasons and they canceled it at 3, but they wrapped it up. And season 3 is just banger after banger of those last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's 3 1-hour episodes and they all rule.
That's fun. I'm excited. I also wrote, I said Basha needs a bullet in the brain.
Yeah, boy does she.
Yeah.
Boy does she. I fucking hate Basha.
There's no character arc or anything. Like her friends are leaving her and she's just like, I'm just gonna be a bitch. She's
not popular enough to be this bitchy. They do like a little tournament. No one shows up to see except Gus.
Very fair. Didn't even realize that. Gus literally had to multiply himself to fill the stands.
Yeah.
But that being said, Principal Bump is walking beyond and they're like, oh, everyone lets Borsha get away with murder. And Principal Bump's like, oh, she's murdering now? Well, I don't approve, but at least she's trying new things. If the principal says you can kill people, she's popular.
Yeah, that's true.
She's the final boss of the entire show. Cool. Do we want to talk about, do you want to talk about Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Okay. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
I figured the internet's response to that was going to be like fury.
Really?
I figured it was going to be like, what? Okay. I haven't seen all of Super. I've seen some of Super, and I know how Super begins. Super begins with Beerus pulling up on Earth and just dog walking like Bulma, just fucking slapping the shit out of her. And Vegeta, who's desperately in love with his wife, reaches as far into his fucking bag as he can. He's like, I have to beat this purple fucking rabbit because he just disrespected my wife, and I will not let anybody disrespect my wife. And you know what he does? You know what he does, Dan? You want to know what he does, Dan?
He goes like Super Saiyan 2, right?
He Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Why doesn't he go to Super Saiyan 3?
That's so interesting. Wow, what a bad retcon. That's the problem making all these fucking shows between Z and like before Super
just
and shit.
Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
Or give him a new form or something. Use filler logic. Filler logic in Naruto always dictates you can give somebody a new form, they just have to lose it.
Yeah.
They just have to lose it eventually.
Yeah, give him rainbow aura or whatever.
Give him a different bullshit Rasengan that's for some reason more powerful against this foe and he'll never use it again.
Yeah.
But he has Super Saiyan 3 as a baby. Why?
How do you feel about what it looks like?
It's a kid using Super Saiyan 3. It just looks like Gotenks.
No, but it doesn't, is my beef.
I mean, he doesn't have Gotenks' fit on.
No, it looks like Gohan Beast, where it looks like number 4 from the Dragon Ball parody.
Yeah.
Where it's just his hair. It's Super Saiyan 1 or 2. Bigger. It's not like the mullet that Goku got.
I gotta
look it up.
I gotta look it up now.
I'm ready to admit I'm just from like Z on. I'm just a Dragon Ball hater.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God.
I'm just a hater.
He doesn't even have the little. He doesn't have the little thingy.
No, he's got nothing. He just has no eyebrows. And people are like, oh well, I kind of like the idea that like everyone's Super Saiyan 3 form looks different, except it just doesn't because Gotenks fucking looks like Goku.
Yeah, to a T.
And then what?
To a T.
Oh, I said Tucci.
Yeah.
It's like Stanley?
Yes, absolutely.
And then I know people are going to say, bro would just be yapping and complaining if it looked like Goku's and being mad that it looks like Goku's. I just want transformations to look different. I'm sick of all these fucking transformations where I have to honestly like think hard about like, is that 3 or is that 2? Because there's some lightning. Yeah. Like, I can't discern Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta from Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta.
You know what's kind of also crazy? Have you seen Vegeta's Ultra Ego form?
Yeah, it's purple. And also just his regular Super Saiyan form.
Yeah, but like he also kind of loses his eyebrows in it. Like, it's just kind of like, he kind of just looks like, Ultra Ego. Like, right? Like, he loses his eyebrows. Like, it just looks like Ultra Ego, but like longer, like, blonde hair.
Yeah. It also, here, I got notes. It's also just like these transformations. I hate when something will do a transformation and not also give him a new move.
Yeah.
Because like, what's the excitement about Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta if they don't give him like, like nuclear final flash or something?
If he's just final flashing a little bit harder and I have to know that.
Yeah, exactly. I have to know that. I wrote, let me see. Okay, in order of notes, I wrote, cool, would have been really fun to try and follow along with this math problem, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Because same thing with the cups and stuff. Anytime they do like a little like mental challenge, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try and see if I can figure this out. And then they're like, oh, actually, it's silly and impossible.
Yeah,
and we're
like
going to cut away.
Quadrillion fucking, and then for some reason, Majin Ku can do it.
I liked that Majin Ku helped. I wrote that because then it's like, at least he wasn't a complete waste of time. It's like one
Well, he also got chocolate.
And he got chocolate. Yeah. This show fucking, this is the worst show. I wrote, don't want to like give Vegeta a cool speech or motivation to turn into Super Saiyan 3 or anything.
Yeah.
He's just like...
Are we assuming that he wouldn't have been able to win that fight in Super Saiyan 2? Is that what we're trying to establish here?
I guess that's the bit, but this isn't like even a fight to the death.
Are we also establishing the fact that Vegeta got angrier while battling against a Tamagami in the fucking second demon world that he did while battling against Beerus as an adult?
That's what I'm saying. Or like Majin Buu or like Super Buu. It's like, and then Goku's like, whoa, when could you do that? And Bulma's like, he's been training a lot off screen. And it's like, all right, whatever. Cool. I'm glad nothing means anything. And this show is just like being written by children. I wrote Vegeta kicking the ocean in half was pretty rad.
Yeah.
That was rad.
That is.
That
but
was
like,
cool.
my God, stay out of the water. Like, he kept just swimming near the water, going, just fucking, like, just stay away from the Kraken.
Yeah.
It's stuck in the water.
Just be high.
Just fly.
Just fly. I wrote Gallic Gun looked good. Love that it turns the ocean purple. That was cool. It's like you see it going across the ocean and like the foreground ocean is purple because it's so bright and the background ocean is still green.
Yeah.
I wrote, I really like the biscuit puzzle because you could do it. Where he's like, if Johnny has 7 biscuits and gives it to Glork, and then Vegeta goes, no, Bulma goes, Vegeta's no good at these types of problems. And I go, I kind of wish he was, considering he's a prince. Shouldn't he be, like, pretty smart?
He should probably be, like loosely schooled.
Yeah. You know what I also realized? Also, before you're like, well, they're a warrior race. Like, even, like, Genghis Khan was smart, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It was smart enough to do arithmetic.
Yeah, like, Vegeta's name is Vegeta, isn't it?
What do you mean? They don't
Because
have
his
last names.
dad is King Vegeta.
Yeah. King is in his first name. They don't have first names.
No,
they don't
I
have last
know.
Names.
But but Trunks must have a last name. So is Trunks' name Trunks Vegeta?
No.
No? I'm gonna look up what Trunks' last
Well,
name.
that would, by that logic, Gohan's name would be Gohan Goku. I mean, they might have, like, what's Bulma's last name? Capsule?
Apparently his last name is Brief.
What? What? No.
Like Boxer Brief.
Vegeta Brief?
Yeah.
No.
Apparently. No, well, apparently it's unknown if Saiyans have last names. Bulma's last name is Brief.
Oh, Bulma's last name is Brief.
And therefore Trunks
Is Trunks
also
Brief?
Yeah, because
As
of like
in
Boxer Briefs.
Trunks Brief. That's
Yeah.
funny. You know what? Listen, if Toriyama was great at one thing, it's names. Low-key, he goes crazy with names.
That is true. I wrote, Vegeta solves his biscuit puzzle.
Yeah.
And he's like, if all these biscuits do this, how many could the snake eat? Yeah. And then Vegeta goes, none, because snakes don't eat biscuits.
Yeah.
And I really wish the robot was like, okay, that's not right, but I like where your head's at. Here's the Dragon
Yeah,
Ball.
the way that was the only right answer. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, absolutely. And then everyone's like, Vegeta, how'd you know that? And he's like, we had snakes on planet Vegeta too. And
Yeah.
I was like, did you try to feed him biscuits? Like, okay.
We have snakes here, and I don't know that shit.
I'm trying to feed a biscuit to a snake right now.
And then speaking of that, my last note is, shouldn't be surprised that there are snakes on planet Vegeta, considering that there are hamburgers in the 3rd demon world.
Yeah, it's just like fucking biology is standard across all planets.
Yeah, so it was, it's just more Daima, nothing better,
Rate
nothing
the
worse.
season for me.
Rank the season?
Yeah. No, just give me a 1 to 10 on the first season of Daima.
I guess this is,
Yeah.
3. It's almost entirely unenjoyable.
That's wild. I'm going to give it a solid 6.2.
This is like written by a child.
I didn't enjoy it at all. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
Is it over?
Yes. Hopefully. Wait, hopefully.
I don't know.
It's got to be. It simply has to be.
It's a fine place to leave it.
I would prefer if it was. I didn't hate it. It was appointment watching every single week, and by appointment I mean dentist appointment watching every single week. Where I was like, 22 minutes of my life I'm not gonna be able to get back. But like There was a lot of fun. There's like fun fights. I guess it's kind of cool that Vegeta gets Super Saiyan 3.
It's fine. Well, here's the thing. Every new thing was a disappointment. Super Saiyan 3 is like, again, I'm like, how lazy can you be? It's just Super Saiyan 2 with like bigger hair. They don't even give him a different hairstyle. Majin Buu, both disappointing.
I hate that we're just doing Buu again. That to me.
And they're Cybermen, why? You know? But it's like, this. If this is a new property, a new show, it's like a 5.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Ball. Like, same with Marvel.
So you think that takes away from it?
Yeah, same with Marvel, where it's like a Spider-Man comes out and it's like, should be like a 6 out of 10. It's a 2 out of 10 because it fucking should be better with all the money you have and all the like decades of like fans making better shit than you. This cannot be the worst Dragon Ball thing to come out, including fan projects.
Did you see the announcement for the new Spider-Man show? It looks like it's AI animated, and everyone's like, "Oh, I like the new animation style." And I was like, "That is the worst looking animation I've ever seen in my entire." Everyone's like, "Oh, everyone hated on the idea of Into the Spider-Verse or like the Miles Morales saga's animation." I was like, "No, we knew that looked good.
Yeah,
like, that always looked good. This looks awful.
Yeah,
it looks so bad.
Looks real bad. I like the idea of it being like, oh, it's like from comic books. Looks like a webtoon that yeah.
It looks like they used mouth dubbing, like AI mouth dubbing to control their mouth. Like everyone's moving too slow and the mouths are moving too slow.
It looks like the worst parts of Invincible.
Yes.
Right? Like the background characters of Invincible.
Yeah.
And I love that people are like, oh, they're trying to go with this like comic book artistic thing. And it's like, it's definitely to save money. It's definitely like a budget thing.
100%. They want you to make that assessment for them. They want you to give them that out. But no, it's to save money. 100%. So yeah, Vegeta. I mean, for me, the fact that it's Dragon Ball actually adds a point.
Interesting.
Because I can be like,
if it was in dub, it'd add more.
Fair.
But because it's all sub, I've never watched Dragon Ball in sub, so it doesn't even feel like I'm not even like, oh, my lovable Vegeta's doing stuff. It's
That's
like,
very fair.
Who is
I would
this?
love to see Piccolo and Vegeta's baby voices.
Yeah, exactly.
That would make me happy.
That'd be better.
That's
but
fair.
it's just, everything about it is like a disappointment.
Yeah. So very excited. Whenever season 2 comes out, we're not watching it, and I think that's as good as we need to do with Daima there. Do you want to talk about, since we're talking about animation,
something that also pissed us off?
You want to talk about something else that also pissed us off?
Well, how I to piss you off, Nick? What is it?
Because here's the thing. Here's my thing, Danny. People are gonna be upset at us right now because me and Danny are gonna do sour grapes hour here. But Blue Lock, for those of you who don't know, the last 2 episodes of the season, good to great.
Yeah.
Good to some of the best sports content I've ever seen in my entire life.
This most recent episode is the best episode of Blue Lock.
Period.
Yeah. The best sports thing I've ever seen, including sports.
It's top. That's pretty good. You're absolutely right. Sports are not that good. No. The last episode is JJK season 2 level animation, even stylized kind of like it. It's almost stylized like Fog Hill with the 5 elements.
It reminds me of Demon Slayer actually. When it starts snowing, that was like some fucking classic and the aspect ratio changes.
The black bars on top and bottom I thought was a really cool change.
I was pissed.
Okay, so here's the thing. Me and Danny are gonna I'm looking at the camera. Yeah. The last 2 episodes of Blue Lock were very good. That's fucking bullshit.
That's fucking bullshit.
But that is, if you don't realize, that is the biggest go fuck yourself from Bandai Namco you've ever received. I don't know how to tell you. Like you need to increase your critical thinking ability. Because that is Bandai Namco proving to you, if they either spent more money or more time, that is what the whole season could have looked like. Even the second to last episode, which wasn't nearly as good as the last episode, looked good.
Yeah.
Not like great like the last episode, but it looked, if the entire season looked like that, fucking I would have taken it.
Yeah.
I absolutely would have taken it.
Yeah. Every episode doesn't need to look like this season finale.
Of course not.
This season finale redefined what I thought Blue Lock could be.
Yes.
I just wanted it to be like season 1, which is like half of what this most recent episode
If they had nerfed the final episode and taken 20% of the effort that they spent on that episode and just like parsed it out to every episode prior to that in that season, I wouldn't have complained.
Yeah, this was incredible.
It was Fantastic.
It was so infuriating. First note, holy shit, they animated this episode.
All right, so in the second episode, because I thought I was watching the last episode, I was watching the second to last episode, and I said, when Isagi said he's dribbling, I felt that because why was he moving? Like, that was like the second, like, Isagi was like, he's dribbling, and then you saw Sai start dribbling, and I was like, he is dribbling. I was like, holy fuck.
Dude, Stank texted us, and he was like, let me see if I can find it.
He was like, this episode was so good, I almost yelled goal when somebody scored, right?
Didn't say that. But let me see. Stank goes, yeah. Is it also weird to you guys how many people are saying, like, this last episode of Blue Lock makes up for a season of shit animation? Like, please don't encourage companies to slash the budget of 99% of the season.
Yeah.
Which is completely valid.
Exactly.
And I agreed 100% at the time of that text. And then I watched the episode, and I had just written out, like, a Blue Lock is so back, baby text.
Yeah.
And then glanced back at that one and, like, deleted it. And I was like, you're right. You're right. I just fell into that trap.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that's going to be the narrative surrounding the season. Everyone's going to be like, well, like with One Piece, they're going to be like, hey, listen, the first 11 episodes are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
You get to that 12th episode, it's going to be, and like, that's just Bandai Namco being like, cool, we put in the 12th, like, we put in literally 6% of the effort that we should have.
Yeah.
And people are only going to talk about that last episode because it is the culmination of the entire season. It is the most hype moment. The soundtrack's great. The animation's great. It ends in a satisfying way. Isagi's fucking goal is dope.
Yeah.
And so people are just going to talk about that last episode.
Yeah.
But it's like, you need to realize, if you look back at this Blue Lock season and you're like, oh, they saved it, Bandai will just do it again.
Yeah, this season's unwatchable. It's unrewatchable. If I were rewatching Blue Lock,
I think I'd
I'd
be angry at
skip
the
a
second time
season.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to skip this entire season.
Yeah, you watch like the 11th and 12th episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote or I just realized the monk's bindi is a soccer ball. That has to be offensive.
Oh my God,
the
it is.
Gem
between
his eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
It's so a bindi, I believe that's what it's called, is a like the Indian representation or a Buddhist representation of your like metaphorical third eye. And that's why they wear like,
that was a marriage thing.
no, it's I don't know.
I think, well, like women, like when they get married in Indian culture, at least, I don't know if it's a Buddhist thing. They put like the red dot in between the in between their eyebrows, right?
Decorative marker sticker worn on the forehead.
Look at us.
It's too much.
The boys describing Buddhism.
It's too much fucking lore.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
What does it symbolize?
thousands of year old religion.
It also represents a third eye. It's said to retain energy and strength and concentration. I'm right to the extent of that one sentence.
I mean, I guess.
But it being
Buddhism is like very alive and well in Japan. So if anybody's allowed to fucking make a soccer ball bindi, I feel like it's them.
I guess. I wrote, love how this episode's animated like it's the fucking eclipse from Berserk. The first third of this episode has the tone of a horror show. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome.
Watching fucking Rin's break, like he's just like the thing, like it's going red. He's like breathing. His eyes are black.
Like, you see like demons behind him. Mm-hmm. Like people keep being like, it'll cut to a guy and he's like, I just have to double it up in front of me and then do this. Then Rin swoops in and just steals it, his tongue sticking out. And they're like, he got me.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking, there's one dude who comes to like shoulder tackle him and he like flips over him.
He just, like goes low on him.
Yeah. It's so harrowing and it's great. It sets like a great pace too, because you're like, with each person he like fucks up, he gets closer to the goal.
Yeah.
And so there is like a tangible like time running out.
Yeah. And it's like the 90th minute. There was also like a big Bachara dribbling scene, and I love a Bachara dribbling scene. And I was terrified. Like if there was going to be a Bachara dribbling scene, like we were just going to get like fucking still images of it. And like, I was like, how did he get the ball up there? But they actually animated the whole thing and it looked good.
Yeah. I wrote, that feint looks impossible. Every now and then they do a soccer move that truly could never happen.
When like when Rin went to like go do the shoot and then he like bounced it over or something, and they're like
he like kicks it, and as it's going, he like sidewinder kicks it with his other leg and whips it around. And it's like he would need to move his legs faster than the ball's velocity.
Exactly. And also have like both his legs in the air simultaneously.
Yeah.
But also, it's a sports anime. Unrealistic shit's gonna happen all the time. Watch Kuroko no Basket.
And then some stuff we already talked about. Then halfway through the episode, the art style just changes completely. Like, it changes to literal JJK. Like, no one has shadows.
It's like hard, black, choppy lines. It almost looks kind of like, I feel like the best, actually, comparison is Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah, people have said that. Yeah.
Because like everyone just starts like running like head down. Everyone gets longer, right? Everyone gets like skinnier, like with like black lines. No one has shadows. Yeah.
It's awesome. It starts when it kicks off. It's awesome. Like the black bars come down, and then you see like an overhead shot, and it's coming down. It goes like it says like overtime or something like that in big words. And there's a shot
+1. Yeah,
+1. There's a shot where he kicks the ball, and it's like POV. You are ball.
Yeah.
I was like floored. I was like
really good.
Yeah, it was really. Oh, and then my last note, luck. So Isagi, you okay?
Lungs.
Yeah?
Water.
Filling with water.
Oh, we're good.
Isagi makes his goal. Like, all of this shit's coming into place. He's like, getting one up on people, like catching it, dribbling it. He has to make a decision, and then he like whips around somebody. And he like winds up, and one puzzle piece comes flying by, and it just says
like a
luck.
Golden luck piece, like bounding by. Yeah,
it just says luck, and he kicks it, and it just makes it in. I was like up on my feet.
Yeah,
because I love that his whole bit is that he's like collecting these puzzle pieces, and he's like, I need this, I need that, I need this, and I love this moment being like. Sometimes you just kick the ball and hope.
Sometimes you find a spot, you think the ball is going to go, and the ball just falls there.
Yeah, and as long as the wind doesn't hit it, or maybe the wind hits it right, and it does. Like, I love it being like, just throwing its hands up, being like, sometimes it's luck.
Sometimes it's God.
It's so just says
God, yeah, he's like fucking, he's alive and he's Japanese.
Just see like slow like transparency like coming more and more like visible, and just sprinting down the field with the ball. It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, up the fucking up the lane here. We just see him like appearing, and like this is why it's an openable dome so God can watch. Like it's like one of the lines I think about so often is from the Watchers, and it's Dr. Manhattan in the Vietnam War.
The Watchmen,
whatever. Very different things.
You said whatever, and then you were like, "Oh no, you're right."
No, you're right. The Watchers and the Watchmen are very different. But it's like Dr. Manhattan in fucking Vietnam, just eviscerating people. There's like a news headline. It's like God is alive and he's American.
Yeah, and he's American.
And I was like, that's a fucking bar, dog. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite lines from a movie ever.
Whoa.
So yeah, this is a fuck you from Bandai Namco. Like we can be excited and also be like, you could like you're showing us you could do it. You're showing us that everything that happened between episodes 1 and 10 was intentional.
No, it pisses me off because I want to see that episode and be like, season 3, baby, let's get it. Yeah. But I can't do 24. I can't do 23 more episodes of what we got and then one episode of this again. Like, it needs to be at least season 1 quality.
Do you think that it's going to get better or it's going to stay the same?
I have no idea. I hope there's a mutiny.
So many people watched. That's the thing.
So many people watched. The animators were like a little revolty by it because one dude was like, I personally did 5 episodes alone. And I hope that guy left, you know?
But like, are you going to find a better gig elsewhere? Who knows?
I know.
There's no good jobs for animators.
Yeah, so who knows?
Could you imagine like being like, oh, I want to be an animator when I grow up? Your parents didn't love you. Why didn't they stop you? Like, there's never, no animators ever been like, wow. What a great time I'm having.
Yeah. I've never seen an animator be happy. Even Hayao Miyazaki, the only animator that like everyone knows by name.
Exactly.
Hates his life.
Yeah. Like also, by the way, he gets to do his own project.
Yeah.
He's not making other mangas come to life. This man is referred to as Disney, like like Japanese Walt Disney. And he's like, I smoke and I eat instant ramen every day because life just needs to slip away from me. And everyone's like, oh yeah, of course, I'll fucking do this.
He's living the dream. Death refuses to take him despite his best efforts.
They got enough movie directors and content creators up there already. Okay, so that brings us to, we can either talk Helluva Boss or we can talk Creature Commandos. Let's do Creature Commandos real quick here.
Be quicker.
Because this show is one of the best things that DC has ever produced.
I love it. I kind of love it.
So goddamn good.
Yeah.
It is like trends. It has given me so much faith in what James Gunn is trying to build. And like a lot of people are like very hesitant in what James Gunn is trying to build. Between the new Superman trailer.
Have you seen it? How do you feel about it?
The new Superman trailer? I love it.
You love it? Wow.
Why? Do you not?
I need a little more.
I like that Guy Gardner's got a fucking horrific bowl cut.
I like
that like children are trying to call out to Superman.
That's awesome.
I love that there's colors. I like that they're basically gonna do, and this is shout out to Ty, my intern. He's like, oh, it's gonna be. Ever seen Superman versus the Elite, where he's like battling against like Manchester Black? There's been a lot of Easter eggs in both that trailer and also Creature Commandos that have pointed towards the fact that the Superman live action is going to loosely follow the events of Superman versus the Elite. Highly recommend it. Fantastic movie. Go ahead and watch it. Anyways, the trailer looks great, and Creature Commandos just every single week impresses me. Like every single week, like week in, week out. Dr. Phosphorus's backstory, like him being like a fucking nuclear scientist, and he's like, oh, I'm trying to like use nuclear fission to like actually eradicate tumor cells and like cure cancer. And he's like trying to send fake information to a fascist regime so they don't get nuclear fission, like fucking research and all of that. And his family gets killed because of it. What's cool though, and this is what Ty realized, is that like Bialia getting mentioned in that episode, there is in Superman versus the Elite, the story is Bialia versus Pokolistan. And that's like Pokolistan is like where everything's happening right now. So people think Bialia got taken over by Pokolistan, and that's why there's gonna be like the Superman versus the Elite timeline. Anyways, I love what they're doing. I love that with Creature Commandos right now, you don't know who's right. You don't know if fucking Rick Flag is trying to actually avert World War III, or if like Cersei was correct and the actual Creature Commandos are like in the right. So like morally, you have to feel as though you're pulled to one side, but both sides have lovable characters.
Yeah,
I love Frankenstein.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's your favorite character?
Dude, every single character's backstory has been incredible.
Yeah.
G.I. Robot fucking dusting a room of Nazis, incredible, but he's dead. Like, we haven't gotten Nina's backstory yet. I'm very excited to see hers because I do love her as a character. The Bride's backstory, awesome. Fucking Dr. Phosphorus's backstory, awesome.
Who do you like seeing on screen more? Like the most? Like they're on screen and you're like, good, don't leave.
That's my thing, is like I genuinely like I loved watching the Weasel fuck around with wolves in the woods. I was like, oh, what a healing moment for this abomination against God's will.
Yeah.
I'd say Bride is one.
Wow.
I like the Bride a lot.
The answer's Frankenstein. I'll tell you right now.
I also fucking love him. He's hilarious.
He's so funny. I love when he's talking to Rick Flag and he's like, you remind me a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio from the film Titanic.
Have you
seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
Not many people have.
Yeah. That or being like, he's like, you Dilfy motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know you're begging her. He is so funny. He's such an agent of chaos. And I don't know. I feel like people are going to be like, oh, like the comedy's like antiquated. It's very like 2016 or something. But the comedy to me fucking hits.
It was cracking me up.
Dr. Phosphorus just stripping naked and walking through a tank.
Awesome.
So good.
That was awesome. That was funny. I love Dr. Phosphorus is so cool because I love casual superpowers.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, for that. He just like stands still and the tank like comes to him and he phases through it. Like he breaks into a house and he just like puts his hand through the door.
Yeah.
Like I love, he's so creative and fun with what is otherwise a kind of boring ability.
Just being like a fucking flame guy.
Yeah. He's awesome. So you texted me and you were like, I wasn't expecting Weasel's backstory to be fucking art.
Yeah.
I do like his backstory. And at first I was disappointed with it because I really liked some that James Gunn brings to DC and just the superhero genre in general is edge. Like the new Suicide Squad movie. I love that Polka Dot Man is like schizophrenic as hell.
Yeah.
And
is like envisioning his mother as the people he's like eviscerating with polka dots.
It's like very not PC in like a very like edgy, fun way. And like Creature Commandos has some of that. And like I love, and like Guardians has some of that. And so I liked the idea with Creature Commandos that Weasel is like an actor. Like they're all like, he doesn't seem that dangerous. And it's like, he killed 16 children. Like he ate 16 children. And I liked that like, he has that like horrifying nature about him that this whole time, no matter how cute and like Groot-like he gets.
You can be like, yeah, he's murdered.
He eats kids.
Yeah.
And so I didn't love
that. That everybody's redeemable.
I didn't like that was a misunderstanding. Like I hated that for Weasel. They helped fix it a bit with Frankenstein murdering that black woman, that blind woman.
Jesus. Got her ass.
But what's it called? He kills that blind woman. And that was like dark and fucked enough that I was like, all right, good. Frankenstein's dark
He was
and
like,
fucked.
you're not going to be alone.
Yeah.
That was kind of sick.
That was
And then he
hard.
calls the dog, and I was like, let's go, baby.
That was good. And I liked Dr. Phosphorus killing the mob boss's children.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, all right, cool, good. And then I also don't know if he murdered that family or not when he's playing with the little girl.
No, he just walks away.
I don't know, though.
You think he murders the family?
I'm wondering, because I like that establishes he'll kill children. And he's like, he's having breakfast with that girl, and he's like, I really wish you didn't come down here. I really don't want to risk you telling people I was here. And then they're really weird and ominous about him
The
leaving.
entire episode is supposed to build out the fact that like there is moral correctness on all sides. And like they're not because like Bride and Nina go to the like the brothel, like that French brothel, right? And like the bride is talking about like how she doesn't give a shit about other people and how she's always covering up for Nina and all that. And so she's like at this point where she has to like use her power to defend against these two Irish like metahumans, right? And like be invested in other people's lives. Like that for me is like Nina and Bride are becoming sympathetic characters because they're protecting the women of this brothel, and Dr. Phosphorus is trying to make it like trying to complete this mission and is also like a bad guy, but like not a bad guy without cause.
Yeah.
To me at least.
Yeah.
And Whistle is just hanging out with dogs.
Yeah.
So fucking all that. But yeah, this is probably my favorite thing I've watched in the last couple of months.
It's really good.
So much. It's better than any Suicide Squad IP of all time.
Yeah, the animation's really good too. It's
Exactly.
like Archer at its like
Absolutely.
on ecstasy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Archer has like 100 episodes.
Yeah.
They fucking eventually they were like, we got to stop doing fights here.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to choreograph these less. The fights have been incredible. The Bride like cutting through Cersei's like incel pack was incredible.
Yeah.
So that's been awesome. Even if you're not into DC, unfortunately you do have to kind of know what's going on in the DC universe. You just need to see Suicide Squad. That's it, really, right? Because this happens after Suicide Squad.
Like not even, because it's just a ripoff of the Suicide Squad.
I guess,
Like
but
it's the same thing. She explains the bombs in the head, like
But like Rick Flag's dead, so that's why there's Rick
yeah,
Flag
but he
Sr.
just says it. He's just like, my son
fair.
died, and
That's
then
fair.
they move on.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do we want to talk about the last episode, the season finale of Helluva Boss?
Sure.
Wow. What a fun episode.
Yeah, great season finale.
Yep.
Incredible season finale. So Nick watched it like I guess an hour and a half ago.
I watched it with Dan.
Yeah, you watched it with me. What'd you think?
We have very, and I mean very, we're both sitting here, we're like, wow, so good. We have very different opinions about the last episode. You want to know why? You want to know why, Dan?
Why?
Because you hate Octavia.
You like Octavia? She's so annoying.
Tell me why.
She's so annoying.
Tell me why Octavia's annoying, Dan.
She just like doesn't change. And I get people keep like coming at my ass as if she's a real person.
I'll come at your ass.
People keep coming in my ass as if she's a real person.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I have no qualm with like, I get that she's a teenager and teenagers are annoying, whatever.
I never use that. Whenever people are like, oh, don't blame the MHA students for being stupid, they're teenagers. Fuck off. The main character's the story.
The writing's annoying. Anytime she's on screen, I know it's just going to be 5 minutes of like, Dad, I thought you were going to spend the day with me and this and that. And it's like, fucking, it's just repetitive. I just hate everything around her. When Stolas is like, oh, I don't get to see her for 100 years, that's hype. That's awesome. Because anytime Stolas is in the middle of something and goes, oh shit, I forgot about my daughter. Let me go talk to her. I'm like, do we have to?
Okay.
She's never entertaining.
I'm gonna come out and say it. That's a good point.
Thanks.
I like that you're saying that her storylines become repetitive, and the only storyline is that she's being ignored by Stolas.
Yeah.
That is a good point. That is basically who she is as a character. It is to be ignored by Stolas. But she has every right to be upset about it because objectively she is ignored by Stolas. And I thought a really, really interesting end to this episode was the fact that she like Stolas like Octavia comes to see Stolas at Imp, and Stolas has already gone to, I'm assuming it's his ex-wife's brother's ice dungeon, whatever.
Well, the brother took over Stolas' castle.
Gotcha.
So it's
So he's
Stolas'
added a bunch
old
of
home.
ice.
Yeah.
And so Stolas goes to his old home, and he's like trying to find Octavia, and Octavia has been trying to find him, and so Stolas is like battling it out against like what's his ex-wife's name?
I have no
I
idea.
don't remember it either.
I don't even. The brother's name is some ridiculous. They're all like insane Latin
Yeah,
demon
like insane,
names.
like actual like devil names. Anyways, so there's like this battle that ensues between Stolas's, like, I guess, ex-brother-in-law and the entire IMP crew. But I really liked how the end didn't bring Stolas and Octavia back together, but not because I don't believe Octavia deserves to spend more time in the story. I think at the end of the day, Octavia absolutely has a leg to stand on with being upset with Stolas.
I agree. I just hate the writing around her. Like,
okay. That point I can concede. Absolutely. I think she is not nearly as deep a character as she could be if she was like written, because every other, like Millie, Moxie dealing with a pregnancy, like Stolas, Blitz, like dealing with like the loss of an entire like 100-year ban from high society and not having magic or money, like Luna dealing with not having friends and trying to make other Hellhound friends. Like there's been interesting story points for every other main character except for Octavia, who's just kind of grappling with the idea that her father doesn't give a shit about her.
That's my beef, is that I know nothing about Octavia except that she hates her dad.
Yes.
That's it. And you could be like, oh, she likes music. It's a musical, though. Like, does she really like music?
Everybody
like,
kind of enjoys music.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like...
And stars.
This 100-year ban is the best thing that could happen to her, because now it forces Octavia, if she's ever in an episode again, to do shit aside from Stolas. Like, they now have to, because she can't see him. So she has to do something.
They're probably gonna lean, if I was, writing the story, I would lean into her being molded by her parents. Yeah. Like being molded by her mother and her brother. Like, I think that would be kind of cool, like watching her become like Goetia royalty.
Yeah,
like not like Stolas, but more like her mother.
Yeah, that's good.
And
that's
like she has
interesting.
100 years to cook on that, right? So like she can become a Goetia like a royalty person who's like, oh, I fucking hate imps. Because like it would make sense logically if she hated imps, because an imp is the person who stole her father from her.
Yeah. It's annoying too, though, that she has no hatred towards her mom, who is like objectively evil.
And who's been trying, like, who she knows been stopping her from talking to her father for a month, who's been calling her every single day.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love
that.
I could fix her.
Could you? Oh, Stella, I found out her name is.
Oh, you got it. Yeah,
Stella.
I could fix her.
Yeah.
100%.
Hilarious.
Listen, she could be mean to me, and I'd be like, hey, let's unpack that. What was that about? And I would fix her, and then I'd be loyal as well.
Sure, that's you.
You gotta
the
fixer.
fixer.
Up the system, baby. No. So I thought, like, do you think that Octavia, like, when Octavia is telling Stolas, she's like, hey, you left me, like, you chose Blitz over me. Do you feel she's right when she says that?
I don't know. She's like pretty old. She's like 16. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess that is young. Like, and also there's like often Stolas is like, oh my God, I forgot to call Octavia. Like he is like swept up in Blitz and stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, parents are people too. So it's like, he's deserving of having a life, and like the wife is just awful and terrible to him. He's like made attempts to spend time with her, like at Lululand, and she's not into it. And he's forgotten. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know, like partially, but I don't think he's like solely to blame.
Okay, but so the most interesting point that I think that Octavia made is she's like, when you chose to save Blitz's life, you chose Blitz over me. Yeah. Because he goes into that with the full understanding that he's probably going to die.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Like him not being killed surprises him. Yeah. And that, like the second he dies, Octavia no longer has a dad. Yeah. So in that moment, he absolutely chooses Blitz over.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I thought was really interesting. Because like, yes, unfortunately, her writing is like reductive and repetitive, and it's just like, oh, where's daddy? But at the same time, I think it actually highlights the fact that like, hey, we're also hyper-focused on the fact that we love Stolas and Blitz together, that we forget that like Stolas is taking time away from his family to be here. And while his family isn't great, at the end of the day, it's not like Octavia likes her mother. Yeah. So like him not being there means that Octavia has one less person in her life to help her out with dealing with her mother. And like Stolas to me is almost escaping that family situation and leaving her behind, and like using outside factors like Blitz and like all these like extra enjoyments he does outside of this Goetia family home, and he leaves Octavia behind. So to me, she has every right to be upset.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like, I just need more out of her as a character. Like, I know nothing about her except that she complains.
Yeah.
So do you think, when we were watching it, the second Millie threw up, you were like, oh, that's a pregnant woman.
It's a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Why would she? There's no reason for her to throw up in that moment. Like, I don't think, oh, it's cold?
It's like,
you ever walked outside and it's like 0 degrees? You're like, I gotta puke. No, the second 0 degree temperature hits my face, I feel better.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I'm alive.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing. I called her being pregnant instantly, and everyone was like, how'd you do that? It's so obvious.
If a woman pukes out of nowhere in media, pregnant. That's just the way it works.
It's like if somebody coughs blood in media, don't expect them to be around long.
Tuberculosis, see you later.
What do you think is going to happen with this baby? Will they keep it? Will they not?
I think they'll probably keep it. I can't imagine Millie and Moxie. Like, that was like, Millie's like freaking out, right? She's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was like, hey, you've been married like happily for a couple of years. You guys both have a stable job. Like, you're in like, what's wrong with having a baby?
Well, what do you think she's freaking out about? Because the theories, so there's like a few options.
Do you think it was Jeff the Shark? That's a Marvel Rivals character.
That'd be crazy. I know what you're talking about. Chaz the Party Shark.
Chaz the Party Shark.
That'd be interesting. I don't think so. I think people would be like real pissed about that.
Yeah, that would be a bad.
That'd be like an assassination of
her
character.
and she's like my favorite character.
I think so. She's either nervous that like Moxie's not gonna want it, which I don't is like the least likely.
Moxie would be fucking fantastic dad.
He'd love to be one too.
Yeah.
I think the most likely option is that she doesn't want a child or is nervous about it because she thinks it'll mean like she's not going to be able to work, or like people are going to like expect her to stop working even though she's like the best assassin there. Like they're all going to treat her all like maternity leave type.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to just be a mother now. Like that's going to define me or whatever.
Interesting.
I think that's why she may be freaking out, or maybe she just doesn't want it entirely, and she's like, I want to abort it, but I don't think Moxie will want to. Should I just not tell him?
Interesting.
Those are like the optional plot lines I think it's going to head
I feel
down.
like the third one's the most compelling and also the most realistic. Because like I can't necessarily, like that was the funny thing. I was like, I saw her puke and I was like, oh, that's a pregnant woman, which is concerning because Moxie just hit her with a fucking RPG point blank. Like that woman is losing that baby.
Yeah.
I can't see her being like, I think it would like lead to a more compelling storyline if Moxie was like, oh, I don't want to be relegated to being a housewife. I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah.
It would like, like obviously speak to like maternity leave, those kinds of things, like women like re-entering the workforce after having children, that kind of thing. So like that would be an interesting plot line in the longer sense. I think in the immediacy though, like, yeah, Moxie wanting a kid, but Millie not would be a very like, that'd be a cool talking point for like 2 episodes, maybe, right? Like you could absolutely wrap that up in like 1 or 2 episodes, and they're like, we're gonna have the baby or we're not gonna have the baby. But they're like the most consistent example of like healthy love in Helluva Boss. So them having a kid doesn't feel like jumping the shark to me.
Yeah, and also with how Helluva Boss is, I could see them doing like a season or a few episodes of like her just doing missions with it like strapped to her chest, and it's got like pistols or something.
Exactly.
Or they could even be like, oh, imps age like a year a week, like until they hit 18. You know what I mean? Like,
there's no rules they have to abide by.
Yeah, if they want to speed it up, it's fine. Because usually I hate when like characters have babies in shows.
Yeah.
Like Breaking Bad, Mad Men, all these shows. Like the characters will have New Girl.
Fucking Zoe Deschanel just kept getting knocked up.
Because it's like they just fucking, it doesn't do anything. Like a baby can't do anything in a show unless the show goes on for like another 11 years.
Remember when Megan Fox was in New Girl?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my God, you've never seen New Girl?
I've seen clips of Nick and that's all. He's the best one.
Well, him and Schmidt, but yeah.
Well,
they carry the show.
I don't like what Schmidt looks like. So it makes me uncomfortable with his face.
Yeah.
No, you know that's not what I mean.
I mean, he's a well-known Jewy-looking guy.
I didn't know he was.
Okay.
He just looks like a big tooth. Like he looks like a big tooth mascot.
He is. Listen, I'll give you that. That's a great
right?
descriptor.
That's what I mean.
He is tooth adjacent. He is a toothy motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. I also, you said something very interesting while we were watching this final episode, where you're like, oh, they just draw such interesting moral lines for these characters, and I thought that was interesting because you're right, they do. You said the first person they kill in the entirety of the show is a child in episode 1. Do you think that the arc of all of the characters in Helluva Boss is to become good people?
I don't know if it's that or because maybe like that is fair. And then what, you think it ends and they're in heaven?
No, because that's just Has Been Hotel.
I
Congratulations,
guess so, yeah.
you've made Has Been
Well, that's
Hotel.
the crossover then. They start being good and they're like,
and Charlie just shows up and she's like, you guys want to stay in my hotel or something?
Yeah, you guys are crushing it.
I don't know, because I feel like the most compelling part of the show is the fact that they're an assassination organization, which they don't do nearly enough of. Like, I feel like we only get assassinations nowadays in like fucking like shorts, right? We get our 6-minute like we're killing a chupacabra thing.
Well, that's what I mean is that like I don't think it's that like this grand scheme from the beginning where it's like, oh, they'll get redeemed. I think it's that they want to start taking the show more seriously. And you can't really do that if like your morals are like confusing. Because like in the transition of this, where like with the Stolitz situation,
and
where
the
it's
reason
like,
we're talking about this, mind you, is because a homophobic woman comes in, like a woman gets cheated on by her husband who's alive, and then or assumes that it happens, and then he marries another man, and they raise her 2 kids together as a gay couple, and she comes into Imp and she's like talking about how cheating is wrong and how being gay is wrong. And so like that's the whole idea. And so like we're now building out like that idea of like, oh, and then so they go up to the like Earth and they're like, oh, we're gonna kill this guy. Stolas sees the reflection, or not Stolas, Blitz sees the reflection of him and Stolas and Luna and Octavia, and is like, oh, that's like our family unit, and so they decide to not kill this assassination target.
Which is something they absolutely wouldn't even think twice about like earlier on in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like if they want to be taken more seriously, they can't be confused or confusing with what are you confused about?
Nothing. I'm just Panda Mom just chatting it up over there.
They can't be confused with the fucking morals, because with the Stolitz thing where it's like everyone was debating like if Stolas has like a power dynamic over Blitz. I was on the fence of no, he doesn't, because this show is constantly silly and loosey-goosey with its like sexuality, where it's like Blitz is frequently or was sexually harassing Millie and Moxie.
Yeah.
And they like made a point to be like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I think it's because it's harder to take your like serious moments seriously when you have moments where it's like, well, why is this sexual assault sad if this other one was hilarious? You know what I mean? Like,
interesting. So so you think they're taking a turn to be like, oh, we're trying to like make these characters more morally upstanding so that we can like actually approach these more realistic tones.
Yeah.
Like these more realistic tones and talking points. Like like these more morally upstanding characters can take you to those talking points, and you can feel justified in like learning from these characters because they've gone on their own character development arcs. Interesting. What do you think is a question? What do you think if it was like a straight couple? Do you think like Blitz doesn't see the reflection of him and Stolas and just fucking domes the dude?
Yeah, probably. I think
Right?
I guess that's the bit, is that it's like such a reflection of them where it's like a dude who left his wife because he was closeted gay and then is now happy being gay.
Living with his
child,
his new man with also 2 children.
Yeah.
Like if Blitz doesn't see the reflection there, like he just kills that dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's the only issue.
Well, that thing is like, to me, it's not
So
that
it's
more
heterophobic, you're saying?
Well, we are the most suppressed group, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is like it's not that morally upstanding. Like I feel as though you can go really 2 ways with it. You can say, oh, Blitz doesn't want to break up this family unit, or you can say Blitz selfishly saw himself in this scenario, and that's why he couldn't kill, right?
I mean, it's like both. It's like kind of, I feel like similar.
Really?
They're similar a little.
I mean, you could absolutely say it is for both reasons, but to me, it's like it's justifiable either way. Right?
Yeah.
You could either say Blitz doesn't want to break up a happy family, or you could say, oh, he sees himself in the situation, and therefore, as somebody in a very similar situation, he doesn't feel as though it would be right to like break up this family unit when he's trying to achieve exactly that right now.
Yeah.
But one of those is selfish, and one of those is changing.
Right.
Right? Like one of those is like, oh, my morals and values have updated, and the other is, oh, they look like me, so I won't pull the trigger.
That's true.
Right? Very different reasons.
It's more that one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, if we're saying that the characters are like, oh, so morally upstanding, then at the end of the day, like him only like not icing this dude because he's in a situation that he himself wants to be in, it's not that morally upstanding.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
I guess you're right.
It's just kind of selfish.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That brings us to, we have like a bunch of games that we're just not going to play today.
Yeah.
That brings us to, do you have a best boy?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
My best boy is, I saw a bunch of movies I hated.
Uh-huh. I mean, you liked some of them.
No.
You liked none of, you didn't like Nosferatu?
I like Carry On. Nosferatu is pretty good. I wanted more out of it.
Okay.
That's another one I don't fully get. I'm shocked so many people like it as much as they do.
I mean, buddy, a lot of people like Sonic 3, and you came up here and you're like,
I don't understand anything anyone likes anymore.
Yeah, you just might be out of touch.
Yeah, I think I am. Nosferatu is...
the snooty...
I'm snooting.
Have you become the snooty film?
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for here?
Bro.
That works.
Critic.
I was going to say critic, yeah.
Yeah. No, because snooty film critics like Nosferatu. I'm shocked that, like, you know, like...
People are so horny for Robert Eggers.
Marvel podcasters are, like, gassing up Nosferatu. And I'm like...
Well, probably because they got nothing to gas up from Marvel.
That's true.
They're fucking shitting on
Well, but I mean, they'd say they don't like it if they don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, they're, like, reviewing it well. And I'm just like... You guys weren't bored by this? It's just like a little slower than I'd have liked it to be.
Lighthouse?
Yeah, I didn't like the Lighthouse.
Exactly.
But the Witch is good. I like the Vivitch.
The Vitch?
The Vivitch.
The Vivitch?
2 V's.
Oh, it is 2 V's?
The Vivitch.
That's annoying.
Well, that one's really good. The characters are like really, really good in it, and like the family dynamic works, and the spooks are the best spooks he's done.
Yeah.
I didn't love the Lighthouse, and the Northman was like kind of hype, but
The Northman was him?
yeah,
That's crazy.
it was pretty good. They're fighting a volcano. That's cool.
And they're all just turned into dogs?
Yeah, they're all
just fucking borking?
They're borking, and that was fine. Yeah, I don't love him. Ari Aster's a lot better in terms of
so your
like
best
those two.
boy isn't Robert Eggers.
Yeah, I guess I guess just that. Anyway, your turn.
Your best boy is that Robert Eggers is not your best boy.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Really high level stuff, Dan. My best boy this week is Jason Rusnak.
Who?
He's a guy who I went to Anima with, and he walked me back to my hotel when I was rolling out of my mind, and I was not going to make it home. I literally texted Dorothy, and I was like, I'm too high to be here. And she was like, you be safe getting home. And multiple times, because I was way too high and I didn't want to be there, I was like, I should walk home by myself. But my buddy was like, we're also walking home. And he walked me home, and that's the only reason I'm currently not, I don't know, face up in a ditch somewhere.
Nice. Help your friends.
I have no news.
Yeah, I also don't have news.
Go watch. Go watch the new Fate. Go watch Fate Strange Fate.
You said it was. I wouldn't understand it.
You wouldn't understand it.
Okay.
I'm telling people who enjoy Fate to go watch it because the first episode is out. You have to watch the movie, the 55-minute movie that came out a year and a half ago.
I thought they're all disconnected.
It's like the first 3 episodes dropped as a 55-minute movie, and then the first episode came out. So it's like episode 0, episode 1 kind of situation.
When are they going to come out with one called Fate Stay Leave? You know?
Fate Stay Night?
No.
There's a Fate Stay universe.
Yeah, I know. Fate Stay Leave.
Yeah.
You know, stay, leave.
Leave. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Go.
That would actually work kind of well because like most of the Fate Stay universes explore both possible endings.
Wow.
So
weird show.
It's a very odd. And it's this one, the reason I say this one would be difficult is because this one actually kind of all of the universes are canon. Every universe, if somebody ever asks you, this is fucking general advice to all the weebs out there. If someone ever is like, what Fate episodes, what Fate series are canon, they all are. Everything that exists under Type Moon is canon. However, Fate Strange Fake may exist in the world of Fate Unlimited Blade Works. So it might stay because they reference the Third Great Holy Grail War, specifically the Fukuyuki Third Great Holy Grail War, which is the Holy War that Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works is about.
Yeah.
But it's in America this time.
Christ.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
So they're just blonde dudes, all speaking Japanese, but they're fucking crushing it. Also, simuldub sub releases. So
huge.
Pretty big. The dub is not great though. I actually purposely switched to the sub. So that's my flashback is go watch Unlimited or
Fate Stay Unlimited.
Fate. God damn it. Fate Strange Fake. Do that. All right. That brings us to our favorite part of the episode, Love Letters, where me and Danny poll our incredible live audience to ask us a question that we answer here live on the podcast. So if you guys want to get the podcast 2 days early, watch me and Danny live, hang out with us before and after podcast, or get to ask us questions that we answer here live on the podcast. You can become a member over on Patreon for $5 a month. What a good way to ring in 2025. To hang out with us 2 days early, get some extra content, 2 additional hours a month, and get to ask us questions that we answer here. So Acrylic Shark asks...
My answer is yes.
So Acrylic Shark asks, what was your least favorite and favorite? So Acrylic Shark asks, what was your least and most favorite anime from 2024? I got my list over there. You're currently reading it.
I've got it right here. The number one is very interesting.
I feel and I mean very passionately about my number one. Should I say it?
Say it.
Should I say my favorite anime this year? Dungeon Meshi by a mile. Not by a mile. A mile is inaccurate. My second favorite anime of this season, or of the entire 2024 year, was Bleach's third TYBW Core 3.
That's not true.
What did I write?
Not according to this list, it wasn't.
All right, Soul Leveling?
You wrote Oshinoko.
Oshinoko.
You don't know a damn thing about yourself.
Oh, my
Bleach
God.
is the fourth favorite.
Oh, under Dandadan?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I literally just watched the last 2 episodes of Core 3 and I was like, oh, this is literally peak content. But yeah, no, I very emphatically believe that Dungeon Meshi, all 24 episodes of it, was the best content we got in 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. My favorite's Dandadan, just because I didn't finish Dungeon Meshi. Truly for no reason. I very much enjoyed every episode I did watch.
Yeah.
It was a delight. Dandadan was great up until the last episode, but the last episode of Dandadan will only be bad until there's another season.
Exactly.
Because it's literally just like a middle-ass episode.
It's episode 10. It is okay, cool, there's 2 more episodes here. Let's set up a guy that we're going to be battling in the next season here, and then let's get into season 2 in a year from now.
Yeah, it's not a bad episode. It's just a bad place to end the season.
Exactly.
Our least favorite of the year is the same. It is Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah.
I just talked about this in our review of it, but Dragon Ball Daima's a 3, maybe 2 out of 10 for me because it's Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
It should and could be so much better. When fans are putting out projects year after year that are way, way better than what this official Dragon Ball product is, that's messed up. That something's wrong.
See, my thing is, we were able to finish Daima. I mean, we watched all 12 episodes. I enjoyed moments of it. Vegeta getting Super Saiyan 3 as a child, I think is stupid, but it was a slightly hype moment. There was some really good fights. The Tamagami fights were interesting. I hate that we're just doing Boo again. Literally, oh, the Boo saga just ended. Let's just make Boo again. And he acts the same way. The only thing is he has a different coloration, which is fucking right down the middle of the road for Dragon Ball. They're like, hey, new guy, different color. Hope you don't notice. Dragon Ball Daima is bad. For me, it's a 6 out of 10. Only because I could enjoy the fights, but everything else that wasn't the fights, even the people who were fighting, I was like, this is a travesty. If I will say, though, that's only the anime that I've finished. My favorite anime, Dungeon Meshi. Least favorite, Dragon Ball Daima. Of the anime that we started and didn't finish, you want me to give you a little rundown on the ones that we started and didn't finish?
Sure.
Metallic Rouge.
I forgot about that.
Remember that? Yeah.
That was nothing.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. The characters were cool. It was a cool universe. But for some reason, just could not get my hooks in. There was Ninja Kamui.
Yeah.
Which for the first 4 episodes was a fucking masterpiece.
And then plummeted.
And then I was like, oh, this is the worst dub I've ever read. And also, why are they samurai mechs? Reincarnated as a Slime season 3, absolute nightmare. Go Loser Ranger.
That just turned so nothing. It was moving so slow.
There was the Suicide Squad Isekai.
That's the worst one. That's got to be the worst, right?
Right. Suicide Squad Isekai is worse than Daima.
Yeah.
I feel like we can probably both admit that Suicide Squad is worse than Daima. It was the most boring
They're
thing.
similar, though.
It's fair. They're both heartless IP grabs.
Yeah.
100% they're both heartless IP grabs, but at least Daima had the balls to have a somewhat compelling story. At least there was an end goal. There was a couple of episodes in Daima that you look at and you're like, oh, that was sick. And I like that we're building towards oh, everyone's getting the Dragon Balls together. There's going to be a big final fight. I hate that it's Boo, but it's still listen, we are comparing smashed apples to smash apples here. I'm not saying that Daima is good, but it's better than the Suicide Squad Isekai.
Yeah.
Tower of God Season 2 is the only other anime I would put in contention with Suicide Squad Isekai and Dragon Ball Daima.
Wow, I didn't even watch it.
It was fucking horrendous. It was the animation it's 7 Deadly Sins level bad.
Yeah.
Bomb's not even in, Bomb's barely in it. All of the characters you love from season 1 just kind of disappear for the first 8 episodes.
I'd put Blue Lock just above Daima, just because Blue Lock has that last episode that saves it.
I had it at 15.
Yeah.
And that's, mind you, I did this before I watched the last episode of Blue Lock. I put Blue Lock below Uzumaki.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Uzumaki. Didn't look good. I had fun watching it.
Yeah.
I'd
rewatch Uzumaki way sooner.
Uzumaki. I would not rewatch Blue Lock or Daima.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That brings us to the end of the show, guys. We appreciate so much hanging out for us another week. We're back for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, ideally.
Just weekly updates. But we love you guys so much. We hope to see you next week. And goodbye.
Bye.
And now